And action.
Actually, oh my god.
What happened?
Wow.
Take two.
Yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's another Saturday, so it's time for Metalheads Unite.
That's right. Welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody had a great week. Welcome to the show. We haven't
Somebody
had
else
a.
must be up here. I smell coffee.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Although I got my handy water, so
Oh, there you go. I just finished my breakfast about 10 minutes before we went on the air anyway, so I'm all set. I should be good to go.
mm. All right. So this, I guess we need a recap from kind of last week.
Mm-hmm.
We had Ricky Mendez on from Extinction AD. If you missed that, then you can go back through our socials and check that out through our Facebook page or through YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it was a
Where
good it was a good interview.
it was like I'm like with that band and the sepsis, and I'm kind of learning a lot about the other side of the world with music. So they definitely have given us some inside scoops how
Yeah,
things on how things work. So
yeah, definitely. When you're able to talk to the guys who actually get up there on stage and perform,
mhm.
they definitely can give you some insight onto into the not so glamorous side of it,
Mhm.
and
Right.
all of the leg work and all of the time and effort that goes into it, and just all the just the work in general, man. It's not all it can be messy.
Yeah.
I don't-
Well, I mean, I think that's like the misleading part of anything, just
yeah.
like with acting or anything like that. I've been on many sets, and I think that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. Oh yeah, they got it made. They go in and do their lines. They got a great come out with a great movie. Yeah, but they sometimes they're sitting on set 14, 16 hours a day. So it's
Hmm.
not all it's not all glorious, that's for sure. So especially if you're in the middle of July in like a military military what they call that shit blues, military blues, yeah. So if you're in your military blues in the middle of July, it's definitely not
Uh-huh.
fun. Definitely not fun. So uh,
Or like if you're in,
only reason I say that is because that's what happened to me. So
yeah.
uh, 14 hours in a damn suit in the middle of July and 98-degree weather. Yeah, it was horrible.
Not to mention if you're like in some weird alien movie and you got to wear some sort of prosthetics and then sit in a makeup chair
hmm
before you get out there. But
Right. Yeah. Of course. I think nowadays it's a little bit better than it used to be with that stuff. But I know I know when they did the Spider Man, William Defoe was like talking about the Green Goblin. He said he used to have to sit in a chair for like you know 15, 18 hours to get makeup done. for his shoot back when he did Spider-Man the first time. He said now it's like 4 hours. So 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 they
It
definitely come
definitely
along. They
does.
definitely come a long way. So yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll take that over the 18. But yes,
Yeah.
it's really been cool talking to some of these bands and learning about not only them in general, but a lot of
Hmm.
the stuff that they have to deal with and you know we even like one of the last talking about finding a bass player has been like difficult, which I talked to them the other day. They finally landed a bass player, so that's good.
Yeah. I'm
So
happy for them about that.
yeah, so hopefully new music coming soon from those guys. We'll definitely keep you guys posted as soon as we hear something about that. So
Oh yeah.
matter of fact, we might try to bring them back on when they do get ready to release something. So uh,
Yeah.
always
It'd be good to talk to him again.
yeah
Maybe, and
catch
then
up
maybe,
catch
yeah,
up a little bit. Yeah,
yeah, and then maybe even get a couple of the other guys on.
yeah,
But yeah, it's not all groupies and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that
Well,
shit.
I mean,
So
it's like you don't hear as much about that as we did when we were growing up in metal. It's like the groupies and stuff like that. Well, I mean, I'm sure it still goes on, but
right, I bet it does. But
you just don't hear about it as much. Going out and buying Kiss Exposed and Motley Crue's. I can't remember what that video was called that they had, but there was a few of them like that where running around with a bunch of naked women all the time. So
hmm, yeah,
but yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. I think so. It's become. I think it's become more business like. I think than anything else. So, which is
yeah.
good, it's a good thing, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
I think a lot, and not necessarily the older bands, because the older bands have learned from their mistakes,
Right.
but then like a lot of the newer bands, maybe not even new bands, but bands that maybe have been around only like 5, 10 years, have kind of used the older bands as kind of a cautionary tale. Like, hey, you better kind of watch yourself now. That way, you'll have a career down the road. So I don't know who, instead of just living living fast and dying hard,
Right.
figuratively anyway. But I mean, it's it's not all sex, drugs, and rock and roll anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm sure some of it's still out there to some extent, but
I don't know if you've seen that. I didn't like go into the headline, but I seen where Herman Lee from Dragon Force was talking about that and said, people just don't have fun anymore. Uh, but I don't
no,
know
I
exactly.
didn't see that.
I
But
don't know exactly. What he meant by that, but he was saying that the music's changed because people aren't having fun anymore. But I don't think that's maybe the case. I think people have fun in their own way. Everybody doesn't have fun the same way. If we did, we'd all be doing the same things all the time. But
right,
you know,
I just think people are. I just think by and large people are being more careful. I mean,
yeah, I think so.
you don't hear. I mean, you don't hear about a guy driving his Corvette and wrecking it and losing his arm and shit like that.
Right.
You don't hear those stories much anymore. So I mean, they're leaving those stories back in the 80s. So
Mm-hmm.
but every once in a great while, I mean, if for Wayne Static and Paul Gray, some of these guys, accidental or not, I mean, and it has happened,
Mm-hmm.
just not as often, so I think guys are just being a little more careful. I think they're playing a little bit more of the long game nowadays, whether or not it's because they're looking out for the health of themselves, the health of their band. Everyone else, everyone's under a microscope now too because of shit like this, so
Right. That's true. Um, who was that? I just seen. Damn, I have to go back and look at that now. But I just remember seeing a headline where, uh, damn it, the lead singer was just had a baby and they were on tour, and then she said
hmm,
yeah, I just got back into it too fast, so she canceled
yeah,
the tour.
yeah,
Went back to being mommy for a little bit longer.
yeah. Hang
So
on one second, because I actually, yeah, it was Venom. It was Venom Prison.
yeah, Venom Prison.
Yeah. Yeah, that was part of my hitting the road thing. But I mean, we can talk about it real quick. But I mean,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I just remember that
they
we were talking about it, and I just remember the headline. So
yeah, she the vocalist, she had a baby, or I can't honestly now I can't remember if she had a baby or she's having a baby and she's still pregnant. I can't remember exactly. I can't exactly remember which one it is. Either she was trying to push through the early stages of a pregnancy or she just had a baby. But either way, like you said, she got a little bit of ahead of herself, and they've just
yeah.
canceled their touring plans for the
Well,
rest of the year
well,
because of it.
like
So
you just said though, I mean, they're playing the long game now, and I mean, if you got to play the long game, then you got to take care of yourself, health wise. So,
mhm.
uh, you know,
And we've also reported on quite a few instances of that too. People taking a step back,
yeah, just for
or
their
or
mental health.
yeah, or just leaving a band completely for that for
Mm-hmm.
that and Every Time I Die is a perfect example of that. So, but yeah, I mean, people need to start, looking out for themselves, and if that means taking a hiatus or just moving on completely, people got to watch out for themselves, and I'm glad people are starting to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's we talked about this a lot on here. Is being in the medical field for 20 years, it's people don't take care of themselves like they should. Life gets in the way and they lose track of themselves. They're worried about taking care of kids or grandkids or whatever the case may be, and they just lose track of their own health. And that's
Hmm.
for something I always say, like at least go get checked up once a year.
Hmm.
That's that's uh, that's a big thing. So. And if you got something going on, with mental wise, then please go take care of that. There's plenty of outlets there, so go take care of that. Don't wait until it's too late.
Right.
I had something wrote down somewhere. And I think I left it in there. So, oh no, there it is underneath. It was underneath. uh, so, I don't. We don't usually do this either, but I had a couple of my friends post this week, and a couple of them lost some friends of theirs lost a kid. Two kids drug overdose, which is sad, and and just in that extent too. So you know, and then I've seen where a couple of my friends have lost their parents recently too, and that's always hard, especially right now. Father's Day's coming up, so
Right.
we just had Mother's Day. Father's Day's coming up, so like I said, we usually don't do this, but I just wanted like take time to remind everybody, just see your parents. Call them, whatever you need. Hug them, call them, whatever,
Hmm.
because we all know tomorrow isn't promised. So
Yeah.
I mean, we all gonna have to face that inevitable day at some point. So unfortunately, but so we gotta make the best of while they're here. So
Yeah. And they would love to hear from you anyway. So.
well, yeah, because my mom's bad. If I don't, she hadn't heard from me like by. So if she hadn't heard from me about a day, she'd be calling me. So like, you all right? Because you haven't called me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we check in with each other pretty often. So even if I don't see her, we actually text or call or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main thing is that, do something. Don't just do nothing. I mean, even
Right.
if it's 5 minutes saying, "Hey, how's everything going?" Something. But
Hmm.
and I know some people don't have the best relationships with their parents, and I don't know the circumstances with that, but don't wait till they pass away and then try to too late to make things right at that point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No regrets. No
yeah,
regrets.
no regrets.
No regrets. That's right.
Well, I guess we've kind of went off track right at the get go today. So,
Yeah, we did.
uh, we got a lot to catch up on too. So we got
That
a
we
couple
do.
stories from last week, and I'm
Yep.
actually having to. My printer ran out of ink, so I'm having to flip back and forth through Windows. Actually, I should have split screened everything, but I didn't. So I'm going to have to go back and forth between Windows here, but I guess we can kick off the normal birthday segment here. June 5th through the 11th. Actually, for some reason, I thought today was the 12th. I have no idea why, but
Nope, not yet.
uh, yeah. So I'll have to save the 12th for next week. So I actually put a 12th birthday on here, but anyway, June 5th, we had Nico McBrain, drummer for Iron Maiden, Carl Sanders, guitarist and singer for Nile, Daniel Gildenlow, songwriter, vocalist, and guitarist for Pain of Salvation, Christian Martucci, guitarist for Stone Sour. June 6th, we had Tom Morea, bass guitarist and lead singer for this little band called Slayer. Uh,
Little band
yeah,
called
yeah.
Slayer.
They may have made a name for themselves at some point.
Yeah, they did a few things.
Uh, we had Sean Sult, Shauna Reynolds is the real name, bassist for White Zombie. Douglas Lee Mitchell, aka Mitch Slug McLee, drummer for South Gang. Yeah, he kind of mixed his name up there
Yeah.
for the band. And of course, we had James Monkey Schaefer, guitarist for Korn. Steve Vai, guitarist and composer, has worked with Frank Zappa, David Lee Roth, and Whitesnake. Christina Scabbia, singer songwriter for Lacuna Coil. Um, Let me just say this: I hope I look like that when I'm 50. Not like with the boobs and everything, but she looks good. She looks good for 50. I mean, she
I
definitely.
mean, I don't know. You
Of
could
course,
you
she
could
takes
get
care of herself.
you could get yourself some boobs by the time you're
I
50.
guess
So,
that's
I mean, yeah,
I guess that's a good example of what taking care of yourself does. I don't know.
that's true.
We had June 9th, John Lord, British keyboardist and composer for Deep Purple, Whitesnake. He unfortunately passed away in 2012. We had Mick Box, guitarist for Uriah Heep. Trevor Boulder, bassist for Uriah Heep from 76 to 2013, and a record producer. He also passed away in 2013, so that must have been why he ended his stay with them. Then we had Greg Bissonette, session and touring drummer for David Lee Roth. Rick Renstrom, he's a heavy metal guitarist and it's a wild story. I won't really get into that, but if you want a crazy story, man, look up Rick Renstrom. Got a pretty wild story. We had a Samoth, guitarist guitarist and drummer, depending on what band, I guess. Emperor and Zyklon. Then June 10th, we had Nurgle, singer, guitarist, and songwriter for Behemoth. We had Ernie C., guitarist for Body Count, and Eric Rutan, singer and guitarist for Hate Eternal and Cannibal Corpse. So that is the birthdays for this week. Happy birthday to those guys. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. And like always, if any of you out there listening had a birthday, happy birthday to you. And we appreciate you stopping in with us today, if it is today. So.
And give a birthday shout out to my Aunt Amy out in Hawaii. She's probably still asleep, considering that Hawaii is 5 hours behind us. So it's a little bit after 5 a.m. in Hawaii. So she's probably not awake yet. But happy birthday to her. Her birthday was a couple days ago. So.
And I guess we'll
look who it is.
Mr. Goodbar's in the house. What is up?
What's up, Good Bars?
Yeah, that's cool. If you don't know, Mr. Goodbars plays with the band Sepsis we interviewed a few weeks ago, and he was actually on the show with Melissa and William. Of course, well, only thing we seen was William's arm the whole time.
Yeah, that's right. But it was a very determined arm. He was very.
It was, yeah. I felt like if there was music going on, they'd have been playing to the direction there. But
that's right. Yeah.
Always tuning in. Hey, man, we appreciate that. Man.
Yes,
we really
sir.
do.
Thank you.
Like I said, it's great to be a team and pushing each other to the finish line. So.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate you being here, Mr. Goodbars. Good morning to you, sir, up in the Northeast.
Yeah. Yeah, our tour of the Northeast may continue. We don't know yet.
Yep.
Well, actually, I think we're going to go across the pond next, but we won't give anything away on that until next week.
No, not yet.
Just so we can make sure it's concrete. But
yeah, we actually have a couple of announcements coming up that for the same day as far as we know. So
yeah. Maybe,
which is actually pretty crazy. So
oh yeah, that is right. That is right. Yeah, I forgot
Mm-hmm.
about it. Well,
Same day.
one day announcement and one night announcement. So
Yep.
let's just say Metalheads Unite will be busy the 25th pretty much all day. So
Mm-hmm.
we're
Yeah.
probably gonna be podcasting to pretty much all day.
Pretty close. Yep. Yeah. Good bars. We can't wait to get up to the Northeast either.
Yeah, I've actually never been to the Northeast, which is
The
crazy.
the the furthest I've been is Pittsburgh. That's as far northeast as I've been. So
Yeah, and that's same here. I've been to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, about as far as I've been too. So yeah,
yeah,
be
we
good
got to get up there. We get up there to see sepsis and get up there to finally meet the boss in person too. We got to
Oh yeah, I forgot
we
about
got
you.
to go to Pennsylvania to meet Dan too. So
I don't know if either one of us is ready for that, but
no,
we just put it's like I just imagine like a party and then have everybody there, and then we could just like pair William and Dan up, and then we could all just slide out. So, uh, man, but I don't.
William and Dan would have a stepbrothers moment. They'd be like, "Did we just become best friends?"
Right? Yeah. Yep. Oh man. Yeah, those guys really do need to get together there. They would have a blast.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, I guess we need to get into some current news events here. I guess we can do the layovers from last week first, and then get into some
Well,
news
yeah.
this week.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do some holdovers, from last week. But unfortunately, we had one um, that kind of takes precedent over all those other
Mm-hmm.
ones. So we're gonna do that one first. Obviously, we lead off with the bad news when there is bad news, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, this is another example of that. Over at, of course, there again, this was on multiple platforms, but Blabbermouth was where I saw it first. So over at blabbermouth.com or blabbermouth.net rather, I'm sorry. Original Bon Jovi bassist Alec John Such has died at the age of 70. This was from last Sunday. So it is a little old, but the timing of it just, when you have a show that's on once a week, like we said before, sometimes it happens. So
Mm-hmm.
the news of Alec's passing was broken by Bon Jovi leader John Bon Jovi, who took to his social media on Sunday, June 5th to write, quote, "We are heartbroken to hear the news of the passing of our dear friend, Alec John Such. He was an original. As a founding member of Bon Jovi, Alec was integral to the formation of the band. To be honest, we found our way to each other through him. He was a childhood friend of Tico Torres and brought Richie Sambora to see us perform. Alec was always wild and full of life. Today, these special memories bring a smile to my face and a tear to my eye. We will miss him dearly," end quote. John Such, who also played in an earlier band with Sambora, The Message, before ultimately joining Bon Jovi, remained in the latter group until his departure in 1994. He was replaced by bassist Hugh McDonald, who became an official member of the band in 2016. Quote, "When I was 43, I started to get burned out," John Such told the Asbury Park Press in 2000. "It felt like work, and I didn't want to work. The reason I got into a band to begin with is because I didn't want to work," end quote. John Such was in Bon Jovi when the band released its third album, Slippery When Wet, a massive hit which sold 12 million copies. Its follow-up, 1988's New Jersey, was just as successful. John Such was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2010, along with the rest of the original Bon Jovi band. At the time, he said in his acceptance speech, quote, "When John Bon Jovi called me up and asked me to be in his band many years ago, I soon realized how serious he was, and he had a vision that he wanted to bring us to, and I am too happy to have been part of that vision," end quote. He continued, "These guys are the best. We had so many great times together, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those guys. Love them to death and always will," end quote. So, hey, it's one of those things. You hate having to pass those stories along, but
Well, and of
it's
course
gonna happen.
it's a little bit more meaningful to us too, because I mean that's a band that we kind of grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
So when it hits like that, then it's kind of like, and then I think the thing is we don't realize how time flies a lot of times until we hear those stories like that, and then
Right.
you hear he was 70, and you're like, what? Dang, really? It's like
Yeah.
like 70, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's crazy. But thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends. So
Yep.
that. So Man, well, I'm gonna try to get into a little bit of better mood. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's all. Hopefully that's the only thing we have to go for
Yeah.
that
I mean, I don't
end of the
have any
spectrum
other,
today. So
yeah, I don't
well, I
have
just
any
hope
other
nothing last minute
passings.
comes in. I know how we like stay on top of some of that stuff until last minute. So
Right.
hopefully nothing flows through. So
Yeah.
all right, my this one was held over from last week for Metal Injection. Everyone's favorite fictional metalhead, Eddie Munson, played by actor Joe Quinn on the Stranger Things season 4, worked hard to get into the heavy metal mindset while prepping for his character. And when we say he worked hard, we mean he gave his ears a workout by listening to a ton of heavy metal from the 80s. Quinn is no stranger to music, and he has played the guitar since he was 7. As far as Eddie's character goes, we've established a few musical connections. He loves Metallica. His Wasp pin on his ever-present denim jacket indicates he digs the '80s version with Blackie Lawless, and his jacket's massive back patch is an homage to the cover of Dio's 1984 album, The Last in Line. So now that we've made it clear we're firmly Team Eddie here at Metal Injection, you should know the vintage '80s Levi's denim jacket Eddie gets to wear on the show came right from Ronnie James Dio's personal estate. Um, Here's Stranger Things insanely talented costume designer Amy Paris on how they came to acquire this cool, ultra cool, authentic Ronnie James Dio artifact. The interview was shared on Dio's social media. Um, Quote, we, the show Stranger Things, reached out to the estate of the late Ronnie James Dio to source a band T-shirt. His wife Wendy was in charge of the estate and offered to send us his vintage T-shirt, which was such a dream. The process of getting a hold of the jacket actually started in 2020 when, in an interview, Wendy mentioned she had been contacted by Stranger Things to see if they could use a vintage '80s Dio shirt for one of the characters on the show. And now headbangers everywhere are now even more envious of Joe Quinn's wardrobe for Stranger Things. One last thing to note here is Quinn, who very much has Dio's hair down to the show. Bravo is 5'11". Dio, as we know, stood 5'4". So while the jacket was
Hmm.
probably not worn by Dio personally, it doesn't diminish the jacket's wow factor at all. So Stranger
I,
Things is a pretty cool show when it comes to that kind of stuff because they do a lot of '80s retro metal
yeah,
rock on there. So but that's pretty cool to actually have the jacket. You
I don't think I could wear it.
know, yeah,
I'm
it was.
serious. I think I'd be afraid to wear it. I don't think I could.
Yeah,
Because like, I don't want to fuck this thing up. I don't think, because I mean, I've got clothes in my closet that I've bought myself that have no other significance other than the fact that I bought it, that 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 I worry about wearing. Just I don't want to, just stuff I don't want to ruin. I
right.
couldn't even imagine having to wear that and be like, what am I going to get on this, or what am I, you know?
Well, I mean,
I don't know that I could.
it'd probably be good as long as they don't let the stunt double wear it. I mean,
Well, yeah, that's true.
uh,
I think I'd be too afraid to wear it. I really do.
yeah, I think it would be something I would have to frame or something. I don't.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of some of the ones I had left over from last week. This is gonna be this is gonna be quite. I mean, I don't know what you have left from last week, but I've got one, two, three. I've got one, two, three.
I still got 3 left, so
I mean, I've got five. I still have five more stories just talking about lineup changes.
hmm wow.
So it's been a crazy couple of weeks as far as people going in, people going out.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna start off. I'm gonna move over to the PRP. I'm just gonna start with some of the ones I had from last week. Deathcore outfit Enterprise Earth have announced that their touring vocalist, Travis Warland, has graduated to a permanent role. He officially replaces Dan Watson in the band, who announced his exit this past April. A first single with Warland behind the mic by the name of Psalm of Agony will premiere on June 17th, which is, coming up this week. Enterprise Earth guitarist Gabe Mangold commented on their personnel change. Quote, we're very stoked to officially announce Travis Worland as the new singer of Enterprise Earth. His vocal style, performance, personality, and work ethic are a perfect fit for us, and we cannot wait for everyone to hear the first song that we've created together, Psalm of Agony, coming June 17th. Prepare for the best incarnation of Enterprise Earth yet, end quote. Worland added, after months of touring with the band, I am happy to assimilate into the entity that is Enterprise Earth. Psalm of Agony is the first step in a culmination of efforts only just beginning, end quote. So, and then they will be on, they'll be on tour, which I'm pretty sure, looking at this, I'm pretty sure we talked about this already, but they will be going on tour with Within Destruction, Sentinels, and Great American Ghost. So
Cool, cool, cool. Well,
that
congratulations.
lineup has changed. So yeah, congratulations to him.
Hmm. Yep, cool. At least they got some. The thing I think with a lot of the time is if you got somebody filling in and then you're just like, man, I don't know if this is actually working. It's kind of I think it's kind of hard to say, hey, you toured with us for 3 months, but yeah, this isn't what we were looking for or whatever. But I mean, it happens. I understand that,
Yeah.
but a lot of
Well,
times
no,
you don't you don't have a good click with. I mean, we can take something we know about Gary Sharon and Van Halen. That was like the worst thing ever. Not knocking Gary Sharon's talents at all. He
yeah,
just wasn't a fit for Van Halen. So
John Corabi and Motley Crue.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
But the funny thing is I wonder if sometimes, like, in that situation that we just talked about, I wonder if there was like some sort of understanding that he would like going in at first, if he would like, yeah, we're gonna take you out on tour, we just can't promise what'll happen in the future, and then
oh well,
and then
sure,
they and then
yeah.
they and then they like developed a chemistry, and you're like, what, we like where this is going, how
Mm-hmm.
would you like to just make
Stay,
this
yeah.
full time? Yeah. So I wonder, Mr. Goodbars, have you been in a situation like that in a band before, where you had a temporary member who was under the understanding that it was more than likely temporary, and then he became permanent? If you've got that, answer that question in the comments if you can. But if you haven't been in that situation, that's fine too. I was just kind of curious. So
Yeah, yeah. You kind of stuck yourself out there, joined it in. I'm just kidding.
that's right.
uh, uh, it's all good. All right, I got one hold. I got another hold over here from Metal Hammer from last week. The Music Venue Trust, the charity that supports grassroots venues and has campaigned to sustain them through the impacts of COVID-19 and beyond, has set up a new initiative to safeguard the future of small UK venues. I wish they would do that here.
Right. Yeah.
Launching what they're calling the National Trust of Music Venues, the charity has kicked off the Own Our Venues campaign, in which fans can help to purchase the freehold of grassroots music venue properties, thus ensuring the buildings are kept for their intended purposes and not sold to property developers. Nashville should learn something from this.
Yeah.
Uh, Quote, music fans and ethical investors can buy community shares in music venue properties from £200 to £100,000 and receive 3.3% APR on their investment, say the trust. It's a better rate than a savings bank, and we will get save our venues because we own our venues, end quote. The non-venues selected to be part of the pilot scheme are the Ferret in Preston, the Snug in Atherton, La Pub in Newport, the Glad Cafe in Glasgow, the Hairy Dog in Derby Sunbird in Darwin, the Polar Bear in Hull, the Palladium in Bideford, and the Bunkhouse in Swaznia. The trust hopes to raise £3.5 million with a view of purchasing the venues before the end of 2022, and then we'll look at identifying and securing further freeholds as when they become available. At the time of writing, the campaign has raised close to £250,000, so well on our way. This is the most ambitious initiative Music Venue Trust ever undertaken, says founder and CEO Mark David. The long term security and prosperity of grassroots music venues depends almost entirely on one thing: ownership. Too many have been at the mercy of some commercial landlords whose motivations revolve primarily around profit. We have lost over a third of our venues in the last 20 years, and with over 90% having only 18 months left on their tenancies, we are We are at the cliff edge, and we could see the decimation of our sector if we don't do something radical about it. The music venue property scheme will allow ethical investors and music fans to invest in the future of live music while receiving a healthy return on their money. Our Save Our Venues campaign, launched during the pandemic, raised over £4.1 million with more than 80,000 people contributing. We are already have the crowd. We just need to ask them to invest from May 23rd and are confident they will. The Trust patrons include Paul McCartney, Elbow, Frank Turner, Enter Shakiri, Nova Twins, Steve Wilson, Skindred, and Bob Dylan. So that's good stuff, man. Like I said, I wish they would do something kind of like that here instead of letting these developers just be like, screw it, we're gonna sell it out, and build some townhouses that we don't really need, something like
Right.
that.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not against progress,
Mhm.
but I mean, everything it seems like, and especially around here and up in the Nashville area in Tennessee where we live, it seems like everything is just completely bulldozed over just to put
Mhm.
up more places to live, and
Mhm.
that's going on around here like crazy, and it's just nuts. But I mean, I also like the fact that they're doing that, because bands need a place to play,
Mhm.
regardless. And this is not even a metal thing. This is just a music thing.
Right.
People, bands and artists need a place to perform. And I don't, I always hate to hear that when another place closes, because there isn't one. There usually isn't one that comes in behind it to take up the slack.
That's just like when we were at the Signal, in Chattanooga. They had like upcoming shows, and it wasn't
Hmm.
just metal. It wasn't just metal. I mean,
Right.
they had jazz, country,
Yeah.
blues. Well, I mean, they had a lot of different stuff going on. So
Yeah.
so it wasn't just one one dimensional uh, music there. They had a lot of different genres coming in. So
which I mean, which is smart, obviously,
right,
but
right, yeah. I mean,
yeah. So having live music venues is a good thing, and having multiple live venues is a good
mhm,
thing. I don't know how many there are in Chattanooga, but I mean, there's a shitload of them in Nashville, and we're not even talking about the little honky tonks on Broadway,
right.
So we just went to Bridgestone at the beginning of May to see Megadeth, but at the same time we saw Steel Panther at Marathon Music Works.
Mhm.
We saw Machine Head at the Exit Inn. You know, we have yet to go to the Brooklyn Bowl, but we do plan to go to the Brooklyn Bowl in September when the Bass Strikes Back tour comes back through Nashville. So I mean, there are plenty of music venues here in Nashville, but not a lot of cities have that opportunity.
Right.
So, all right, staying over at the PRP, metalcore mainstays Unearth have announced their summer/fall touring plans, which will find them overseas for the annual European festival circuit, along with two festivals in the United States. For those shows, the group will be rejoined by drummer Mike Justin of Madball, who previously played with the band from 2002 to 2007. Justin commented on his return. Get my brain here in just a second. Quote, I'm tremendously excited and grateful for the chance to play these tunes again and make new memories with these guys. Looking forward and see you soon. Cheers. Unearth added, quote, Mike's contributions on our albums, The Oncoming Storm and Ill in the Eyes of Fire, as well as his unmatched live performances, cemented him as a part of this band forever, and we couldn't be happier to revisit the stage, those songs, and more together this summer, end quote. Additionally, Unearth have confirmed the departure of drummer Mike Pierce from their roster. The outfit are currently finishing up their eighth studio album with producer Will Putney of Body Count and Every Time I Die, and it is set to feature Pierce's final recorded contributions as a member of the band. So, one drummer out, one drummer in. Of course, it looks like this is a little bit more of like a temporary basis. It looks like he's just filling in for the touring circuit. So if we hear anything more permanent about that, we'll let you guys know that too.
Yep. All right. This one is over from Metal Hammer as well. Uh, Gibson have shared details on their latest guitar collaboration with Hailstorm's Lizzie Hale by way of Wholesome Cooking online segment. Lizzie Gibson's first ever female brand ambassador has previously worked with the guitar manufacturers on three different models: the Gibson Lizzie Hale Explorer, the Gibson Lizzie Hale Explorer Dark, and the Epiphone Lizzie Hale Explorer. Uh, I wonder if they're going to name this one Explorer too. Their latest collaboration, the Explorer Bird. Here, there you go.
There
Is
you
a
go.
mashup of the iconic Explorer body and neck with a Firebird headstock and a cardinal red finish. In a new cooking show called Kitchen Explorer with Lizzie Hale, the singer and guitarist explains how she spends her free time when not fronting the band before creating her new signature guitar from scratch using vegetables, spice, and generous glug of booze. My other job can be pretty hectic and stressful, so any downtime I get, I love to stay creative and cook up something wholesome and yummy in the kitchen, says Lizzie. Today we're going to explore something really special and do something no one has ever done with a bird before, she adds. I have really specific taste. If you know me, it has to be killer. So there you go. Another Gibson collaboration. Seems like they have one of those a month that
Yeah.
we're reporting. We have been reporting on. Sorry. Uh, so uh, so they just
So it's
keep on adding to the lineup there. So
yeah. And from the description, it sounds like it's probably going to be a pretty good looking guitar too.
yeah, I wish I didn't see a picture of it or anything when I was looking this up, but I mean, that could be something out there by now. But
Oh, I'm sure there probably is, but anybody who wants to see it, go check that out. But cardinal red finish, not
yeah,
bad.
yeah, it's gonna be a pretty color.
Yeah. All right. Again, staying over at the PRP, Arif Suhaimi. I think that Arif Suhaimi. Yeah, I think that's his name. Vocalist for Singaporean grindcore outfit Wormrot has announced his departure from the band. Word of his exit from the group was revealed on May 31st and arrives just over a month ahead of the July 8th release of the band's forthcoming new album, Hiss. Arif announced his split with the band alongside his wife, Azine, who until now had served as the group's manager. Oh, that could get awkward.
Yeah,
The following statements were issued on the matter. Quote, it is with a heavy heart to announce that I, Arif, and Azine have parted ways with Wormrot. Okay, so they're both leaving.
mm,
We've thought about it for some time before coming to a final decision. We've been going through a lot of personal hardships, and it's taken a toll on our mental health and well-being. There you go. Again,
mm,
this is for the best. There are many other factors that are just too personal to share. Certain issues have become priorities that we just can't avoid. It's going to take us some time to recover. It was a difficult decision, but our family is our priority and we do not wish to hold the band back. Also, I have to stop pretending that I am still interested being in the band. It feels wrong and disrespectful to Rasid and Vijesh, whom I regard as part of my family, the best people I have ever worked musically with. Thank you for your amazing love and support for the past 15 years. Thank you for believing in me. Past members, friends near and far, and promoters who've hosted us. Azine and I have been in the band since day one in 2007, and these memories are embedded in us until the end of time. We wish nothing but the best to Wormrot and their future endeavors. Hiss is my final album, Good Times, Arif and Azine. We thank Arif for devoting 15 years of his wife of his life to Wormrot. We also thank Azine for being the reliable mother of the band throughout the years. It must have been a difficult decision to make, but we wholeheartedly respect. Thank you to Arif and Azine for the unforgettable memories. We wish happiness to your family. Lastly, we apologize to everyone for taking our time releasing this news. As much as we try to find the right time not to affect or interfere with the promotion and release of our upcoming album, there really is no right time. We seek your understanding and patience as we handle this to our best ability, and most importantly, respect for the decision made by Arif and Azine. As of 1st June 2022, Wormrot will continue without Arif. Thank you, Rasid and Bajesh. So, again, man,
it turned.
sometimes you gotta make those difficult decisions, but if you're looking out for your mental health and the well-being of your family, sometimes you gotta make the tough choice, especially like this guy. He was been with the band from day one, so I'm sure that made it a little bit more difficult.
Well, I thought it was going to turn sacrificial there for a minute. He said he gave it his wife. I was like, oh
Right, I know.
wow.
I offer her.
Yeah, offer her,
Yeah,
offer a sacrifice.
yeah.
All right.
The last 15 years of his wife.
Yeah. Yep. Uh, Well, I mean, it's usually a little bit longer than a demon deal, but usually only get
That's
10 years on
that.
those.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, all right. Uh, this one is from Metal Hammer as well from last week. This is my last one from last week. So, Def Leppard now have their own mobile game. Hair metal meets tile matching in Def Leppard. Let's Rock It from the developer Digital Dog, available now. For rock music fans who like to play match 3 mobile games such as Candy Crush, Saga, or the classic Bejeweled, the Def Leppard theme game could make a welcome addition to those mobile adventures. Let's Rock It puts the app's players in the shoes of an up and coming musician while mixing elements of tour managing in with the fun tile matching gameplay. Def Leppard recently announced the game on their official website. Step into the shoes of a rock band manager and collect bonus gems, unlock cool features, dress your rock heroes in style, and more, they said. Def Leppard Let's Rock It can be downloaded for free from most apps, whether it be iOS for Android, including the Apple Store and Google Play. From Digital Dog, welcome to Def Leppard's Let's Rock It. Step into the shoes of Bethany, an up and coming rocker on the rise to stardom with the help of legendary Def Leppard. Collect stylish clothes and new musical instruments, conquer social media, and make your way to the top of the charts as you progress through levels and solving puzzles using match 3 combinations. Congratulations, Def Leppard just keeps on doing stuff, man. It's crazy to
Hmm.
see them out. I mean, of course, they're not as hard and heavy as they were back in the '80s, but it's just crazy to see them still going. They just had a new album out, I think, last week or week
Yeah,
before. So
Diamond. Yep, Diamond Star Halos.
pretty recent. So,
I think it debuted in the top 10 too. I have to take a look at that,
oh
but
wow,
I think it did. I think it debuted in the top 10 here in the United States.
that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, good for them, man.
Hmm.
So they went through enough hardships to deserve some good stuff happen to them. So, uh,
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go over to blabbermouth.net for a minute, back over to there. Swedish modern metalers Amaranthi have parted ways with longtime singer Henrik GG6 Englund Wilhelmsson. Henrik announced his exit from Amaranthi in a social media post on Wednesday, June 8th. He wrote, quote, "I'm sorry to say that I got some sad news for y'all. I will no longer be a part of Amaranthi. After 2 years at home caused by Corona, something hit me. I freaking loved being at home with my family and started to dream about doing something else, something more important, and also to not spend more time away from my kids. For many reasons, I also slowly stopped enjoying life on the road with Amaranthi. It became more of a job and something I pushed myself to do, not like back in the days when I had some serious fun all the time. I want to thank all my fans for your support over the years, and I promise I'll be back with killer GG6 stuff in the future when the mood and creativity finds its way back to me. Cheers and love, and good luck to Amaranthi in the future." End quote. The remaining members of Amaranthi stated, quote, "We fully respect and understand Henrik's decision, and we wish him all the best on his future adventures. Henrik is truly one of the world's foremost growlers, as anyone who have seen him rip through our songs live knows, and we can't wait to see what he comes up with next. Keep your eyes peeled on to his socials to stay up to date with forthcoming GG6 madness." End quote. This summer's shows will be performed by two special guests. Stay tuned. Last December, Amaranthi dropped a music video for its latest single, PvP, Gamer Speech for Player versus Player. The track, which was released in November, was the official anthem for the Swedish team at the International Esports World Championship. The clip was directed by Poland's Grupa 13, which previously worked with Amaranthi on Archangel and Boom music videos. Amaranthi has spent the last decade establishing itself as a formidable, positive, and fervently melodic force for metallic good. From their explosive self-titled debut in 2011 to the more sophisticated, streamlined likes of 2014's Massive Addictive and its immaculate follow-up Maximalism in 2016, Amaranthi has masterfully blurred the lines between melodic metal, crushing brutality, cinematic sweep, and futuristic sparkle. Led by the endlessly ingenious songwriting of guitarist Olaf Mork and powerhouse vocalist Elise Reed, their rise to prominence has been a joy to behold. Widely acclaimed as a dazzling live act, the Swedes reached a new peak of creativity on 2018's hugely successful Helix, an album that pushed the band's vision to new heights, breadths, and depths while showcasing the brilliance of Elise and her co-vocalist Wilhelmsson and recent recruit Niels Molin. So, good luck to all those involved moving forward.
yeah. Well, my first one for this week is coming from Loudwire. Uh, a little lengthy here. Uh, so Foo Fighters have taken their time to process the death of drummer Taylor Hawkins earlier this year, and the band is now ready to celebrate his life and career by holding a pair of tribute concerts taking place in London and Los Angeles this September. The band the band will take over London's Wembley Stadium, the venue where they played one of their biggest and most famous concerts on September 3rd, while there will also be a home city celebration with Foo Fighters performing at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles on September 27th. Presented as Foo Fighters and the Hawkins Family Presents Taylor Hawkins Tribute Concert, the Foo Fighters say in making the announcement via social media, for our dear friend, our badass bandmate, and our beloved brother, Foo Fighters and the Hawkins Family bring you the Taylor Hawkins Tribute Concerts. In addition, Taylor's wife, Allison, offered a lengthier statement thanking the fans for their outpouring love for the musician, while also adding of the group, we consider every band member and extended Foo Fighters team our family. She went on to add, in celebration of his life, it is now up to all of us who loved him most to honor Taylor's legacy and the music he gave to us. Her full statement reads, my deepest thanks and admiration go out to the global Foo Fighters community and Taylor's fans far and wide for the outpouring of love and each and every one of you have shown our beloved Taylor. Your kindness has been an invaluable comfort for my family and me during this time of unimaginable grief. As Taylor's wife and on behalf of our children, I want to share how much you meant to him and how dedicated he was to knocking your socks off every time he performed. Taylor was honored to be a part of the Foo Fighters and valued his dream role in the band every minute of his 25 years with them. We consider every band member and the extended Foo Fighters team our family. Taylor's endearing spirit and deep love for music will live on forever through the collaborations he so enjoyed having with other musicians and the catalog of songs he contributed to and created. In celebration of his life, it is now up to all of us who loved him most to honor Taylor's legacy and the music he gave us. Thank you all again for your love and sympathy. Taylor loved all of you, and we love you. With gratitude, Allison Hawkins. While the London and Los Angeles shows are the first to be announced, a full lineup of concerts is expected to follow. That said, it has been revealed who will be playing. It has not been revealed who will be playing drums for the band at any of the shows. The band's announcement reads as follows: Foo Fighters, together with the Hawkins family, presents the Taylor Hawkins tribute concerts, two global events celebrating the memory and music of a rock legend. Dave Grohl, Nate Mendel, Chris Shefflett, Pat Smear, and Rami Jaffee will come together with the Hawkins family to celebrate the life, music, and love their husband, father, brother, and bandmate with the Taylor Hawkins tribute concerts. As one of the most respected and beloved figures in modern music, Taylor's monolithic talent and magnetic personality endeared him to millions of fans, peers, friends, and fellow musician legends all over the world. Millions mourned his untimely passing on March 25th, with passionate and sincere tributes coming from fans as well as musicians Taylor idolized. The Taylor Hawkins tribute concerts will unite several of those artists, the Hawkins family, and of course his Foo Fighter brothers in celebration of Taylor's memory and his legacy as a global rock icon. His bandmates and his inspirations playing the songs that he fell in love with and the ones he brought to life. The All Star Rock and Roll Show will take place September 3rd at London's Wembley Stadium and September 27th at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. The lineups for each show will be announced shortly. You can sign up to receive information on timings, tickets, links, and on sale dates at www.foofighters.com. Taylor Hawkins joined Foo Fighters in '97, first appearing with the band on tour supporting their sophomore album, The Color and the Shape. He made his recorded debut with Foo Fighters with '99's There's Nothing Left to Lose, playing on every subsequent Foo Fighter album, including One by One, In Your Honor, the first Foo Fighters album to feature him assuming lead vocal duties on his song Cold Day in the Sun, Echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace, Wasting Light, Sonic Highways, Concrete and Gold also featured him lead singing on Sunday Rain and Medicine at Midnight. As a member of Foo Fighters, Taylor was a 15-time Grammy Award winner and member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He lived and loved music to an insatiable degree with Foo Fighters, as well as his numerous solo and side projects and collaborations. So that's good that we kind of figured something was going to be done at some point.
Mhm.
Honestly, didn't realize it was going to be that fast, but you know. nonetheless, it's it's good to see everybody coming together, and it's kind of seeing good to see Foo Fighters actually planning to do something because I was kind of worried about how long they were going to take for that because I mean that's hard when you lose somebody that's been in the band 25 years. So
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see who they get to
yeah,
play drums. Like you say, they haven't announced the replacement yet. Maybe they'll because like one concert's in London and one concert's in LA. I mean, maybe they'll get maybe they'll get a guest for each show,
yeah.
something like that.
Well, the way they were talking, they're going to do like a more than the two shows. So I'm not sure what's going to how many they're actually going to do, but it seemed like they're going to be
Well,
adding to it. So
right, yeah. Like you said, a full tour is probably going to happen. But I mean, like for the actual tribute concerts, I wonder if maybe they would like get a guest for each one of those, and then secure a more permanent replacement after that. Who knows? It'll be an interesting development for sure.
yeah,
All right. All right, this is my last one for the week about lineup changes. Staying over at Blabbermouth, Finnish monster metal group Lordi has recruited Kone as the replacement for its recently departed founding guitarist Amon Ra, also known as Amon. Kone will make his live debut with Lordi on Friday, June 10th, which was yesterday, at the Rock in the City festival in Kuopio, Finland. Amon Ra, whose real name is Jussi Seidenmaa, announced his departure from Lordi in early May. At the time, the 49-year-old musician said in a statement that, quote, life happens and people change. I don't know what the future will bring. All I can tell you is that right now I'm relieved but sad. I'm grateful but unsure where my path will take me. A big chapter of my life has come to an end, but a new one is starting, and I can't wait to see what life has to offer me. So, end quote. And it just basically recaps everything that we talked about when I first announced that Amon Ra was leaving the group. So we won't rehash, but Lordi has a new monster member. So, and I totally has a new member of the group who is also a monster. Not a monster member.
yeah. Oh,
Hey, actually though, you never know. Could be.
that is true. Yeah. All right, this was over from Metal Hammer for this week. Ozzy Osbourne is to undergo a major operation early next week, and the results will determine the rest of his life, said Sharon Osbourne, as she talked to UK TV show The Talk. Asked by co host Vanessa Feltz if she was traveling to Los Angeles soon, Sharon confirmed that the operation would take place on Monday, June 13th, and that she would be traveling to be by Ozzy's side. I have to be there, she said. Asked if the couple planned to celebrate their 40th wedding anniversary on July 1st, Sharon was uncommitted, saying, I don't know yet. Depends on everything with Ozzy. Ozzy Osbourne has been plagued by ill health over the past few years. 2 years ago, he revealed that he had been battling Parkinson's disease, and since then has been facing neck and spine issues following a severe fall in 2019, one that dislodged the metal rods in his body that had been surgically inserted following his quad accident in 2003. The incident necessitated the insertion of 15 more metal screws in his spine. So he's pretty much Robo Ozzy now.
Hmm.
The singer has also endured a life threatening staph infection in his thumb and a burst blood vessel in his eye, and has been hospitalized with complications from the flu. As a result, Ozzy's been unable to perform and has been forced to postpone dates from his No More Tours 2 tour multiple times. In November 2021, Ozzy announced that the European leg of the tour, which was originally scheduled for 2019, will now take place in May and June of 2023, with Judas Priest supporting. And that would be a hell of a show.
Hmm.
And then Ozzy's last live show was the Ozfest date at the Forum in Los Angeles on New Year's Eve in 2018. When 2023 tour begins in Helsinki on May 3rd, it will be the first live show in 1,584 days. I hope Ozzy is recovers and
Hmm.
gets back out there doing what he loves
Yeah.
to do. So
Yeah, but when he said years ago that he was Iron Man, I don't think this is what he meant.
I don't think that's exactly what he had. I don't think that's what he had in mind. But
No, that's not what he fucking had in mind. He's damn near bionic at this point. Pretty fucking close.
yeah,
And I actually misspoke. I said that last story was the last one about lineup changes, but I got ahead of myself. And this one's interesting because it's another one about As I Lay Dying. I don't know
Hmm.
what the hell is going on with this group here lately. Um, but it's been, well, I mean, their story has been interesting anyway because everyone probably knows, but for anyone who doesn't, Tim Lambesis, the lead singer, he did 6 years in jail for conspiracy to have his wife killed.
Hmm.
His first wife killed.
Right.
He's been married 3 times. He actually got married for a third time this past week. I guess I
Yeah,
probably
I've
should have
seen that.
mentioned
Yeah.
that too. So he's on his third wife now. He wanted to hire a hitman to have his first wife killed, and obviously got in trouble for that because the potential hitman was an undercover cop. So he did 6 years for that.
Yeah.
Came back, you know, not necessarily picked up right where he left off, but obviously he's back in the band. And then either last week or 2 weeks ago, we reported about the about Josh Gilbert, who is the bassist vocalist. He left the band, and now we have another one. We have another twist and turn in this story. Over at the PRP, As I Lay Dying have announced that they have recruited ex un is that unearth? Did they spell that wrong? Hang on. Unearth. Yeah, they did. They spelled it wrong. They didn't edit their own story. Sorry. As I Lay Dying have announced that they have recruited ex Unearth drummer Nick Pierce for their immediate touring. His addition follows June 9th announcement that drummer Jordan Mancino would be sitting out the band's immediate touring due to quote unquote internal issues within the outfit. Whatever that means, I have no idea. But like I say, it's getting interesting with As I Lay Dying. Bassist vocalist Josh Gilbert announced his exit from the band earlier this year and will be replaced by Miss May Eye's Ryan Neff at the band's immediate shows, while Unearth guitarist Ken Susi will be filling in the slot vacated by Nick Hippa in 2020. So I think Tim Lambesis is the only original member left after all this, after everything is going on. As I Lay Dying commented it on June 10th, quote, "We are pleased to announce that Nick Pierce, formerly of Unearth, will be playing drums for AILD on the 2 Decades of Destruction tour starting tonight in Las Vegas with Whitechapel's Shadow of Intent and of Sulfur. We've toured with Nick many times over the years, so we're stoked to have not only a longtime friend out with us, but a phenomenal musician. The level of precision and power in Nick Pierce's playing has taken our songs to a whole new level. Nick had the task of learning 20 songs in a limited amount of time, and he nearly played the entire set flawlessly at our first rehearsal. It's been inspiring to witness his dedication and strong work ethic to keep AILD performing at the standard our fans expect from us. We even had time to jump in the studio with Nick and track drums for a new song we are putting out soon, so keep an eye out for that. We are just pulling up into Las Vegas for night one of the Decades of Destruction tour. We can't wait to perform and see our fans again." End quote. So, who the hell knows with this band? Who knows anymore?
I was just surprised they're actually, everything's worked out to where they can actually still tour. That's actually a good thing, I guess.
Yeah,
But
it is good.
man, yeah, they've definitely had some obstacles set in front of them. That's for sure. All right, and my last one for this week is over from Metal Hammer. For those of you that don't know, Metal Hammer also is known as Louder Sound for some reason. I
Hmm.
don't know how that collaborates, but anyway, so because it's going to say something about that in the story, so I just wanted to reiterate that before I got to reading. So
So
you
just
only
a
need
heads up. Yeah.
yeah, you only need read our recent takes on Doctor Strange in the Multi-Universe of Madness and the excellent new Thor: Love and Thunder trailer to know that we don't need much encouragement to get on board the superhero hype train here at Louder. That said, 2K have just dropped a trailer for what looks like to be the most heavy metal Marvel video game ever made with Midnight Suns. In the
Hmm.
space of 1 2 minute clip, we've got to see a hellish demon queen causing mayhem, vampiric Marvel favorite Blade, of course, famously played on screen by Wesley Snipes and soon to be played in the MCU by Mahershala Ali. Ghost Rider, also famously but in the wrong way, played on screen by Nicolas Cage. I like
Oh
the way they did
God.
that. A uniquely suited Spider-Man, and most interestingly of all, demonic versions of the Hulk, Venom, and we think X-Men mainstay Storm. And it's all soundtrack to Metallica's Master of Puppets. So, nothing, needless to say, badass.
Nice.
Midnight Suns is based on the Midnight Suns series from Marvel Comics that first debuted in the early '90s. In the original run, a team featuring the likes of Morbius, the living vampire, just now famously played on screen by Jared Leto, and two different variations of Ghost Rider unite to stop the rise of Lilith, mother of all demons, who we can safely say is the hellish demon queen lady seen in the trailer that they have over there. Doctor Strange is also a prominent part of the Midnight Suns canon and will be appearing in the game, as well as some Marvel heavyweights, including Iron Man, Wolverine, and Captain America. So there we go, man.
Nice.
Yeah, so that seems like it'd be pretty cool, especially with some Master of Puppets in the background there. So
Hell yeah, man.
can't go wrong with that. So,
No, no, you can't. No, you cannot. That'll be interesting. All right. Let's see. What do I have left? I have two stories left, and they're both in the action figure collectible vein. So I'm going to read both of those real quick because both stories are super duper short. Back over to the PRP. You'll be able to own an action figure of former Every Time I Die guitarist Andy Williams in the not too distant future. Williams, who wrestles professionally as the Butcher in All Elite Wrestling, was recently announced alongside his tag team partners of the Blade and the Bunny for inclusion in the upcoming 13th series of Unrivaled figures from Jazzwares. Release dates are pending, so that's cool for them. And then my last one over at metalinjection.net. Slayer's Minotaur from the cover of their 1983 record Show No Mercy has its own action figure now, thanks to Super 7. The figure stands 7 inches tall and comes packaged in a deluxe slipcase style box. The figure also includes interchangeable heads, hands, and of course a sword and cape. The Minotaur is available for pre-order here. There's a hyperlink in the story. Slayer, the latest made-to-order 7-inch scale Ultimates figure, immortalizes the iconic beast from the cover of Slayer's game-changing 1983 debut album Show No Mercy. The heavy metal beast is brought to life with premium paint and details, interchangeable heads and hands, a soft goods cape, and its eternally recognized sword. Pre-order now at the link in our profile. So there you go.
fucking Slayer.
Slayer.
uh,
And to save everybody some time, there you go. That's what it looks like.
nice.
Yep. So there you go.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, that catches me up for the last 2 weeks. I am done.
So now that we've got long-winded there, I guess we can get long-winded in the hitting the road segment since we got 2 weeks of
Ooh,
that too.
yeah.
I don't have a whole lot, so I'm sure you will definitely be able to reel out more than I found. So
Yeah. Honestly, I thought. I mean, I'm. And don't get me wrong. I still have 7 pages, but I thought for 2 weeks I would actually have an upwards of 10. So,
mhm.
um, in all honesty, not too bad for considering, like I say, for the past 2 weeks. But yeah. And hopefully, I'm taking a quick gander through the list. Hopefully, there aren't too many of these that actually have already started, because I was kind of worried about that, having to wait a full 2 weeks, but it doesn't.
Actually, I have one that started yesterday. So
Okay, well there we go. So that's actually not too bad, all things considered.
all right, I guess I'll kick mine off here. The first one I have here is Trivium and Heaven Shall Burn announced rescheduled European tour with Obituary and Malevolence. God damn, it's a hell
That
of
is, oh man,
a show. That's going to kick off January 17th, 2023 in Tilburg, Netherlands at the 013, or is that 013? I can't really see. Maybe at 013. I don't know how they do things over there. So, and that's going to end up on February 20th in Frankfurt, Germany at the Jahrhundertthal. Hopefully, I said that right.
actually, I think that's pretty close.
So, then the next one I have was Ginger. They're touring to Europe as the official cultural ambassador of the Ukraine. That's the one that actually kicked off yesterday in Interlaken Greenfield Festival.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then that goes through August the 20th in Hamburg at the Elbriot Festival, and they're going to be with Slipknot there. So, man, talking about a fucking show, Slipknot and
Hmm.
Ginger. Wow.
Yeah.
Then Hellstorm announced a U.S. tour with The Warning and more. I guess more meaning that they have multiple opening acts. The one consistent opening act is of course, the Mexican rockers, The Warning, but also on specific dates of the tour will be the Pretty Reckless, Little, Little Czar, and New Year's Day. That tour kicks off on July 8th in Detroit, Michigan, at the Michigan Lottery Amphitheater at Freedom Hill, and that ends on October 8th in Sacramento, California, at the Aftershock Festival. So, and I have this was a little wonky, but I got Creeping Death, 200 Stab Wounds, Travel Gaze announced the North American tour with rotating openers. And this is going through the rotating openers here. So with Ingrown, that'll be August the 16th in El Paso, Texas at Lowbrow Palace. And tour with them will end up 5 days later in the 21st in Las Vegas, Nevada at Psycho Las Vegas. Then the 23rd, they go out with Ingrown and Spirit World in Oakland, California at the Starline Social Club, and that ends 6 days later on the 29th in Boise, Idaho at the Shredder. Then on August 30th, they're going to be with Spirit World, Plague Years, and Vomit Forth in Salt Lake City, Utah, the Beehive. And that's going to end up on 9/4 at Toronto, Ontario at the Garrison. Then there will be September 5th, Montreal, Quebec at the Bar La Ritz with Spirit World and Vomit Forth. So just no plague years on that one, I guess. And then that one's going to wind up on 9/11 with New York City, New York, which that's crazy to be in New York City on 9/11. Wow, that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
At the St.
Yeah.
Vitus. And then last but not least, with Age of the Apocalypse on 9/12 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Underground Arts, and that will end on September 18th in Austin, Texas at the Spider Ballroom. So a lot of rotating openers there. So
Yeah. Yeah. That was a lot to type out. I actually had that one too.
yeah. Then I got Crowbar and Spirit Adrift announced
Oh
a
man.
U.S. tour, which I was hoping would come near here, but
Yep.
I
I
didn't
know.
see it. but
No.
that kicks off on July 22nd in Austin, Texas at the Ripple Fest and ends on August 27th in Worcestershire, Massachusetts. Sorry,
Sure.
at the Tattoo the Earth, which I was going to talk about right after. The Tattoo the Earth Festival, rocking back after 20 years. The Crusade returns to the 40th anniversary, even though it hadn't been going on in 20 years. That's crazy. But that's they got that headlined by Anthrax, Black Label Society. Also going to be there, Hatebreed, the Red Chord at the Gates, Municipal Waste, Bleeding Through, Terror, Crowbar, Overcast, Within Ruins, Enforced, and Spirit Adrift. So they also got a wild body art village, twin stages of music, and food trucks and a whiskey tasting event there. So nothing goes good with the concert like whiskey tasting. So,
Hmm. And it's kind of funny that Anthrax, Black Label, and Hatebreed are all going to be at that festival because they're
right.
literally going out on a tour together of their own, and they're just going to
Yep.
make a stop at the festival and just keep on rolling.
Yep. 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 And looks like that's if you want tickets to that, it's going to be seattickets.us or the palladium.net. So one or the other there. So if you want
Yeah.
tickets to that festival, there you go. Then I had After the Burial and Suicide Silence announced a European and UK tour that kicks off in November, November 5th in Cologne, Germany at Essig, Essig Fabric, and then ends on November 27th, Weisenbaden, Germany at the Schlattoff, maybe something like that. But
Yeah.
Schlattoff, Schlattoff, I gotta say it like that, I guess. I have to start learning. See if they say any of these words in Remstead songs.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
then, last but not least, I have Oceano announce a late summer tour with Entheos and Worm Shepherd. That kicks off July 29th in West Chicago at the West Chicago Social Club. and ends on August 13th in Battle Creek, Michigan, at the Michigan Metal Fest. Of course, that's only Oceana only there.
Mhm.
So, but that's all of the hitting the road I had. So,
Nice. That actually that probably gets rid of at least one full page of dates that I had. All right, for May 28th through June 10th, hitting the road. Start off over at the PRP like always. We have John 5 and the Creatures. They're going to do some August shows that were rescheduled due to prior COVID postponements. Those shows are going to start on August 24th at Launchpad in Albuquerque and actually finish September 3rd at the Brick by Brick in San Diego, California. No Nashville date there, so apparently there wasn't a Nashville date originally scheduled. Then we have Alex is on Fire and Boston Manor going on a European and UK tour starting October 14th at Great Hall in Cardiff, UK, finishing November 1st at Tivoli in Utrecht, Netherlands. Then in this moment, Ice Nine Kills, Motionless in White, Black Veil Brides, and the Cherry Bombs have been announced for the 107.9 KBPI birthday bash at the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Morrison, Colorado on August 30th. So quite
wish
the
I wish our station had birthday parties like that. Damn.
yeah, no, 102.9 would be let's see, if 102.9 The Buzz had a birthday bash, it would be Muse, 21 Pilots, Cage the Elephant, who the fuck else do they beat the shit out of that they want to call rock? I
Well,
don't know.
I mean, it could be rock. It's just not hard rock or metal.
So yeah. Anyway, so yeah. But that'd be quite the show to go see. Then we have Vane FM, Candy, Regulate, and Living Weapon going out on tour starting August 21st at Auto Bar in Baltimore, Maryland, and ending on September 17th at the Brooklyn Monarch in Brooklyn, New York. No Nashville date there. We have Candy, Lust, Sick Puppy, and Restraining Order going on a quick tour in July, starting July 20th at 529 Club in Atlanta, finishing July 29th at 1720 in Los Angeles, featuring Ingrown, Ikulu, Spice, Field of Flames, and Spike Hellis. I don't know if that's an addition to the rest of the tour or not, so I don't know if it's going to be 8 bands instead of 3. I'm not 100% sure, but that tour will be coming to Dark Matter in Nashville on July 21st. So then we have Sanguisugabog, Undeath, No Mas going out on tour with Vomit Forth and Volcano appearing as openers on select dates. Starting August 9th at Legends in Cincinnati, Ohio, Vomit Forth and Volcano will be at that show. And finishing August 23rd at the X-Ray Arcade in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They will be in Nashville August 10th at Dark Matter featuring Volcano. So Volcano will be the opener for that show. Then we have Red Fang going on a North American tour. They will be with Big Business starting July 28th at the Showbox in Seattle, Washington, featuring Tacos. I guess there's a band called Tacos. So I don't know.
Oh, nice.
And then it's going to be a short run with those for those two bands because that leg finishes July 30th at Wild Buffalo in Bellingham, Washington, with Gold Sweats being the opener. Weird. Then they will be with Bell Witch and Aerial Run, Stygian Bow, and Help. Starting August 1st at Commonwealth Bar and Stage in Calgary, Alberta, finishing August 14th at the Olympic in Boise, Idaho. That tour will not be coming to Nashville with any incarnation of the lineup. Then
I think that Tacos band had an album called "You Can Eat Me Every Day, Even Tuesday."
if they didn't, they should. That's a great album title. Then we have Monolord and Dorothea Cottrell. Dorothea Cottrell is from Windhand. I guess she's going out on her own. Starting August 21st at Psycho Las Vegas in Las Vegas, Nevada. Dorothea Cottrell won't be at that one. And that tour finishes September 3rd at Muddy Roots Festival in Clarksville, Tennessee. Wow. Dorothy Cottrell won't be at that one either. So I guess she's not going to be at the very beginning and very end of the tour. She'll be appearing, at dates intermittently. And there is no Nashville date, but like I said, they will be in Clarksville, which is right up the road. So Then we have Artificial Brain and Devoid of Thought going to Europe in July, starting July 12th at the Pumphuset in Copenhagen, Denmark, and ending July 31st at MTC in Cologne, Germany. Miss May I is going out on tour. No openers have been announced as of yet. Starting September 1st at Red Flag in St. Louis, Missouri, finishing October 2nd at the Gramercy Theater in New York, New York. No Nashville date on that tour. Islander is going on tour in July with GFM and Born of Osiris appearing at select dates, starting July 7th at the Concourse in Knoxville, Tennessee, finishing July 16th at Manchester Music Hall in Lexington, Kentucky. Born of Osiris will be opening for that show. No Nashville date, but you can go to Knoxville and see him at the Concourse. Then we have Ohm and Zombie going out on tour starting September 8th at 89th Street in Oklahoma City, finishing October 15th at Sister Bar in Albuquerque, New Mexico. No Nashville date there. Asking Alexandria has dropped off the tour with Nothing More, Atreyu, and Eva Under Fire to allow Danny Worsnop to continue to fight a throat infection. So that's kind of tough for a singer. The Faceless postpones their June 1st performance. Of course, that was like a week and a half ago at 1720 in Los Angeles to July 24th due to a hand-related injury to Michael Keane. So anybody who was going to see that show on June 1st, hold on to your tickets until July 24th.
I will say this about the Nothing More show. If you've ever, I haven't seen them live, but I've seen a lot of videos of some live performances from those guys, and I think Johnny Hawkins has enough energy for all four bands. But
right. Yeah,
which is crazy because I just read where he was talking about he went as a child. I think he was like 10, I think, or something, and they went somewhere to a actual reservation, and the Indians were doing a rain dance there, and he was so moved by that he incorporates that in his shows.
Oh, that's cool.
It's kind of interesting, yeah.
So. Yeah, that is cool. I like that. And then we got Devin Townsend with some rescheduled European tour dates. Starting February 21st, 2023 at the Centrum Scene in Oslo, Norway, finishing March 26th, 2023 at L'Olympia in Paris, France. How about this one, Jason? Bullet for My Valentine, Ginger, and Atreyu rescheduled European tour dates starting January 29th, 2023 at the Palladium in Cologne, Germany, and finishing February 26th, 2023 at Ancienne Belgique in Brussels, Belgium. Then Demon Hunter and Opponent are going out in September, starting September 9th at the Forge in Joliet, Illinois, and finishing September 24th at the Furnace Fest in Birmingham, Alabama. No Nashville date there, but Birmingham is not far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Demon Hunter's going to be in Blue Ridge, so
yeah. And that Furnace Fest is at that Sloss Furnace, that old steel foundry. That's a concert venue now. That's a cool place. I have actually been to a concert there.
Oh, cool!
It's a pretty cool venue, actually. Went to see Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch there, 10 years ago or something, maybe something like that. But it was a cool place. Then we have Lamb of God and Killswitch Engage going out on tour with various lineups throughout. This is another one of those ones like the Creeping Death tour that Jason already read. So Lamb of God and Killswitch Engage, they're going to be on the entire bill, starting with Baroness and Suicide Silence on September 9th at Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York, and finishing on September 30th at the Fillmore Auditorium in Denver. Then they will be with Motionless in White and Fit for an Autopsy starting October 1st. I know, right? I knew you'd like that one. Starting October 1st at the Great Salt Air in Salt Lake City, finishing October 7th at Aftershock Festival in Sacramento. Fit for an Autopsy will not be there. Then you have Spirit Box and Fit for an Autopsy on October 9th at Doug Mitchell Thunderbird Sports Center in Vancouver, British Columbia, finishing October 11th at the Theater of Clouds in Portland, Oregon. Then finishing up with Animals as Leaders and Fit for an Autopsy on October 13th at YouTube Theater in Inglewood, California, and finishing October 20th at the Pavilion at Toyota Music Factory in Irving, Texas, and unfortunately not coming to Nashville with any lineup. So that sucks.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we just got to see Lamb of God, but still, I still have not had a chance to see Killswitch Engage live. So. All right, then we have No Devotion. He's going to be doing some UK shows with Nate Bergman starting July 3rd at King Tut's in Glasgow, UK, finishing July 7th at 2000 Trees in Upcote Farm, UK. Then he's coming to North America to do dates with Jeremy Enoch and Nate Bergman starting July 11th at St. Vitus in Brooklyn, New York, finishing July 15th at Sonia in Cambridge, Massachusetts. No Nashville date there. There have been some UK dates added to the European tour for the Amity Affliction counterparts Gideon and CU Space Cowboy Tour. The European tour dates were already announced that we've already talked about, but they will be in London on the October 9th, Manchester on October 10th, Birmingham, UK on October 11th, and Bristol, UK on October 12th. So the rest of the tour will be in mainland Europe. Then we have Cancer Bats, Witch Fever, and XL Life going on tour in the UK in September, starting September 1st at the Fleece in Bristol, UK, finishing September 17th at the Garage in Glasgow, UK. Generation Kill and Dead by Wednesday are going out, starting July 31st at Philly on the Rocks in Erie, Pennsylvania, finishing August 17th at Empire Underground. For some dumbass reason, I didn't put the city for that one. Wasn't paying attention there, I guess. No Nashville date for that tour. Then we have Attack Across the White Water Tower and Revision going on a Revision Revised going on an October tour, starting October 7th at the Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan, finishing October 10th at the 89th Street in Oklahoma City. No Nashville date there. Bloodlet is going out for a week-long July run, starting July 1st at Will's Pub in Orlando, finishing July 7th at Legends in Cincinnati, Ohio. They will be in Nashville July 6th at Dark Matter. And as we talked about early in the show, Venom Prison cancels all their 2022 touring plans to allow vocalist Larissa Stupar to focus on the birth of her first child.
So I guess she is pregnant then.
Yeah, I think she is just pregnant. So we have Upon a Burning Body, Signs of the Swarm, Vulvodynia, and Decayer going on tour starting August 16th at Come and Take It Live in Austin, Texas, finishing September 17th at Central Florida Metal Fest in Orlando. They will be in Nashville September 14th at The End. Then we have Thursday going on a 21st or on a Full Collapse 21st anniversary tour. The venues are not yet available, and the openers will vary by date. Circus Survive vocalist Anthony Green, Hail the Sun, Home Last Gospel Choir, and The Fall of Troy will rotate as the openers. The tour starts August 27th in Wichita and ends on September 20th in Newark. Like I say, they've announced the cities, but not the venues yet. Telekinetic Yeti and White Hills are going out starting July 19th at Snug Harbor in Charlotte, North Carolina, finishing on August 29th at 7th Street Entry in Minneapolis, Minnesota. No Nashville date there. Miss May I and Landmarks are going out starting September 1st at Red Flag in St. Louis, Missouri, finishing October 2nd at the Gramercy Theater in New York, New York. No Nashville date there. Loath have canceled all of their mainland European touring plans due to a quote-unquote family emergency, but will still be appearing at the UK dates already scheduled. Wednesday 13 has announced the second leg of the 20 Years of Fear tour starting September 5th at the Rainbow Labor Day Party. I don't know why I got to start paying more attention. I didn't write the city down. I'm getting way too far ahead of myself sometimes. I'm sorry about that. And then ending October 22nd at the Parish at House of Blues in Anaheim, California. There's no Nashville date, but they will be at the Concourse in Knoxville on September 17th. Alkaline Trio has been named as Dance Gavin Dance's replacement on Coheed and Cambria's Summer North American Tour. If you guys haven't heard, there's been a little bit of trouble in Dance Gavin Dance. There's been some sexual assault allegations against, I think, the lead singer, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, that's not good. So we'll see what happens with Dance Gavin Dance going forward. But, yeah, they are no longer on the tour with Coheed and Cambria. Jungle Rot and Incite going out on tour starting August 5th at XBK Live in Des Moines, Iowa, finishing August 20th at The Forge in Joliet, Illinois. No Nashville date there. Helmet has postponed their June U.S. tour for reasons that they have not disclosed. Loath, Void of Vision, and Omerta are going to Europe and UK starting October 18th at the Garage in Glasgow, finishing October 29th at the O2 Academy Liverpool in Liverpool, UK. Thrice is going to miss some immediate shows due to a positive COVID test of somebody in their camp. Plans are to return to the tour on 6/14 at Fort Wayne, Indiana, at Pierre's Entertainment Center. Bayside and Anxious are supposedly going to be continuing the tour as scheduled. Those are all the dates I have over at the PRP. I've got a couple from blabbermouth.net. Dokken is going out on tour starting July 3rd at Rockin' Brews in Sacramento, California, finishing October 15th at Buffalo Thunder in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And supposedly there will be more dates to add to the tour. So once those are announced, we'll kind of pass those along. I haven't heard of them coming to Nashville as of yet. As of right now, they're not, but maybe we'll see. And then last but not least, we have Accept and Narcotic Wasteland going out on a North American tour starting September 29th at Brooklyn Bowl in Nashville, finishing October 29th at King of Clubs in Columbus, Ohio. So that might be one worth going to check out. I have never seen Accept live and in person. So
Yeah, I hadn't either, but they picked a bad month for me. So
they really did. They really did. Well, between August going to see Anthrax, September going to see Testament, Exodus, and Death Angel, and then you got the Blue Ridge, which you're going to go see. I'm trying to go see Sabaton in October, so there may not be enough cash to go around. So
it's definitely of course I kind of figured this was going to happen whenever things being shut down, everything open back up, we're just going to get flooded with shows.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a bad thing.
No,
I like options. So
yeah.
I don't think they're going to miss me there. So
no, they'll be all right. But that's the Hit in the Road segment for the past 2 weeks.
I had a couple of stories I just wanted to touch base on. I didn't want to go into it or not, but I just seen kind of some headlines. So if you guys want to check those out, you can. But I think Devil Driver is going to release a Clouds Over California box set on July 29th. I think it's going to be like a 5-disc box set, I think it said.
It's only from like 03 to 2011. So yeah. I already have all those albums, so I don't need to buy it.
There's going to be extra stuff in there, man.
Well, I'll download the extra stuff.
Yeah.
Legally, I'll legally download the extra stuff. I promise.
Then you got Tools, Maynard James Keenan. He has posted that he has tested positive for COVID 4 times, which is crazy to think.
But yeah, well, I don't know.
Then maybe he's not using the right tools. So.
Maybe not. He needs to quit sticking his tool where it doesn't belong. Maybe.
Yeah. Keeps putting it in a perfect circle.
Yes.
Rob Halford said he was going to photobomb Dolly at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which might be the only reason to watch it. So
it might be. And if he does, we will have that picture.
My God.
We will so have that picture.
Yeah, that will be funny as hell. Which
yes,
if Rob sees going to do it, he probably will do it. So.
Oh, I guarantee you he does.
Look forward to that. Kick over to some notable moments in history since we haven't done that in a couple of weeks. So kick us off from the 28th through today.
Mm-hmm.
My first one comes on May 29th of 99. Skeletal remains were found by photographers looking for old car wrecks to shoot at the bottom of Decker Canyon near Malibu, California. Based on forensic evidence, the remains they found were Philip Kramer, former bassist with the rock group Iron Butterfly, who had disappeared on his way home from work on February 12th, 1995. His death was ruled as a probable suicide. So I don't know, man. That's crazy. The 4 years gone, and then they dig him up.
Yeah,
kind of wild. I don't know about the probable suicide thing.
I don't know. Sounds iffy.
Sounds a little iffy. May 30th, 2009, Ozzy Osbourne was suing the band's guitarist Tommy Iommi over royalty payments. The 60-year-old accused Iommi of falsely claiming to have sole rights to the band's name, which has cost him royalties from merchandise sales. Osbourne was seeking unspecified damages, lost profits, and declaration he is half owner of the trademark. Iommi claims Osbourne legally relinquished rights to the band's name in the 1980s. Osbourne said he believed all 4 original members of the band should share Black Sabbath's name equally. Well, who wants to do that, man? When this, equally. Yeah, like there was 4 people in the band. What are you talking
Yeah. Man, you can't deny Tony Iommi's talent, but man, I've always had an issue with him as a
about?
person.
Yeah, him and Geezer's kind of wild too, man. Like,
Well, I mean, Geezer's just out there a little bit,
yeah, a
but
little bit.
well,
He's
yeah,
been
but
probed by aliens or something. I don't know what's going on
something.
with that guy?
But I've always, like I say, I've always had an issue with just the
More
stories.
like arrogance or something, or just
I don't know if it's his arrogance or just his personality, but I mean, because when they fired Ozzy Osbourne, Tony basically made the decision, but he didn't, he had Bill Ward do it,
Mm-hmm.
so he's kind of a chicken shit for that, and then all this other stuff. So I mean, I don't know. I've just I don't know. I mean, I don't know the man personally, obviously, but everything I've heard about him, he just seems like he's kind of a dick.
Mm-hmm. It's a,
But a
he,
hell of a guitar player. I mean, I'm not going to say that he's not, but
well,
I don't know. I don't
we
know.
talk. That seems to be a ongoing thing. Talk about Yngwie Malmsteen,
Hmm.
Vinnie Vincent, amazing guitar players, but man, their fucking attitudes are horrible.
Yeah. So
Man.
so I don't know.
All right, then we got June 1st, 1981. The first issue of the heavy metal magazine Kerrang was published as a special pullout by UK weekly music paper Sounds. AC/DC had the front cover, plus features on Motorhead, Girl School, and Saxon. So, man, how times have changed with that magazine. But
Hmm. Yeah.
June 1st, 2003, Slipknot bassist Paul Gray was arrested on drugs and drink driving charges while after he collided with a car after going through a red light in his hometown of Des Moines, Iowa. Gray, who wore the pig mask on stage, then tried to write a check for $1,000 to the other driver, who then called the police. Gray failed 2 alcohol tests at the scene and was arrested for possession of marijuana, cocaine, and drug paraphernalia, as well as drunk driving. My question is, I wonder if we would even be talking about this if that check had a couple extra zeros on
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Which I mean, probably a good thing because I mean, who knows what could have happened? I mean, he could have went off and killed somebody at that point.
Right. Yeah.
So it's probably a good thing that they. And unfortunately, I don't think it was too much longer after. I guess it was a pretty good while. I was looking at.
Yeah. He died in '08, wasn't it? Didn't he
Yeah,
die in
it's
'08?
like
Yeah.
5 years. Yeah, so it was a little bit, but I mean, he had some ongoing issues, obviously.
Yeah.
So then we got June 4th of 2020. Steve Priest, the bassist and co-founder of the glam rock band Sweet, died at the age of 72. He was known for his playful humor and outrageous costumes, with Sweet played hits like Blockbuster, Teenage Rampage, and Little Willie on the Top of the Pops. The group was originally called Sweet Shop. Of course, we'll do that. But June 5th, 1977, Alice Cooper's boa constrictor, a co-star of his live act, suffered a fatal bite from a rat it was trying to eat for breakfast. Cooper held auditions for a replacement, and the snake named Angel got the gig. I mean, how wild do you have to be to hold snake auditions?
And what would a snake have to do to audition? Okay,
Yeah,
slither,
yeah.
slither. Now
Eat a
stop.
rat, eat a rat, and not
Listen.
die. I guess.
Yeah.
But,
Weird.
uh,
I don't know.
And on June 5th, 2008, Ozzy Osbourne accepted undisclosed libel damages and an apology over a UK newspaper claim that he was ill at the Brit Awards. The 59 at the time year old rocker sued over a story in the Daily Star that alleged that he had toppled over twice just before the televised ceremony, and he was moved around the awards in an electric buggy. If it was because he was drunk. It probably wouldn't have to do with anything. Uh, then we had June 8th, 1970. Deep Purple had their van and equipment impounded by East German police while on a European tour after mistakenly driving too close to the border. I thought that's like a crazy ass story. Of course, that was 1970. So I mean,
Hmm.
you're talking 50 years ago, but still, that's you drove too close. Not that you crossed it, you drove too close to it.
Yeah,
It's like what the fuck?
that's still boggles my mind that that shit happened. I mean, I'm talking about in Germany. They literally built a wall
Right.
This is our you stay on your side of the line. I stay on our side of the line. That was so fucking weird that happened.
uh,
Boggles my mind.
then you have a rock band that probably travels to both places. So I mean,
Right? Yeah.
it's like, how do you? I don't understand that. It's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
anyway.
I don't.
All
Just so
right,
weird.
that was all that I had for the history there. So
All right. Well, all right. Well, for my part, this week in metal history, as always, is brought to you by This Day in Metal over on Twitter and Dr. Feelgood and Miss Hyde over on Facebook. Give those guys a gander. The content is robust. It really is. I mean, the stuff that I tell you guys is only like a part of it.
right.
I only deal with full length studio albums, but there's other content over there. So. Starting off with May 28th, 1996, Slayer releases their seventh studio album, Undisputed Attitude, which peaked at number 34 on the Billboard 200. May 29th, 2009, Amorphis releases their ninth studio album, Skyforger. May 29th, 2020, Ailstorm releases their sixth studio album, Curse of the Crystal Coconut, and Vanderberg releases their fourth studio album, 2020. Oh, speaking of Ailstorm, I meant to tell you this, Jason. I was looking on Heavy Music HQ, and they've got a new album coming out in the next couple of weeks called Seventh Rum of a Seventh Rum.
Oh yeah, oh my God, those guys are so fucking crazy.
I know.
I said they were in the news for something too this week, but I didn't capture it or anything.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
I don't know. They're funny as shit though. Their music videos are hilarious. Pirate Metal, yes, it's good stuff.
Yes.
And then May 29th, 1989, Bang Tango releases their debut studio album, Psycho Cafe, which peaked at number 58 on the Billboard 200. Moving ahead to the 30th, May 30th, 2005, Secret Sphere releases their fourth studio album, Heart and Anger, and Leaves Eyes releases their second studio album, Vinland Saga. May 30th, 1997, Dimmu Borgir releases their third studio album, Enthroned Darkness Triumphant. And May 30th, 2008, Opeth releases their ninth studio album, Watershed. Moving ahead to the 31st, May 31st, 1999, Freedom Call releases their debut studio album, Stairway to Fairyland. May 31st, 2010, Anathema releases their eighth studio album, We're Here Because We're Here. And Nevermore, Nevermore releases their seventh and final studio album, The Obsidian Conspiracy. Long live Warrell Dane. May 31st, 2019, Glory Hammer releases their third studio album, Legends from Beyond the Galactic Terror Vortex. And May 31st, 1980, Whitesnake releases their third studio album, Ready and Willing, which peaked at number 90 on the U.S. charts. Moving into June 1st, 1999, Domine, or Domine, I'm not 100% sure which, releases their second studio album, Dragon Lord Tales of the Noble Steel. And LA Guns releases their sixth studio album, Shrinking Violet. June 1st, 2006, Eloveity releases their debut studio album, Spirit. June 1st, 2012, Delane releases their third studio album, We Are the Ones. Got Hard releases their 10th studio album, Firebirth. And Yorn releases their 7th studio album, Bring Heavy Rock to the Land. June 1st, 2016, Yngwie Malmsteen releases his 20th studio album, World on Fire. June 1st, album of the year, yeah. June 1st, 1994, Axel Rudy Pell releases his fourth studio album, Between the Walls. Moving ahead to the June 2nd, 1985, Laz Rocket releases No Stranger to Danger. June 2nd, 1999, Emerald releases Iron on Iron. June 2nd, 2017, Secret Sphere releases their 9th studio album, The Nature of Time, and Tankard releases their 17th studio album, One Foot in the Grave. Yorn releases their 9th studio album, Life on Death Road, and Great White releases their 13th studio album, Full Circle. June 3rd, moving ahead, June 3rd, 2002, rather, Freedom Call releases Eternity. June 3rd, 2016, Yorn releases their 12th studio album, Heavy Rock Radio. June 3rd, 2003, Gravedigger releases their 11th studio album, Rheingold. And June 3rd, 2011, Ailstorm releases their third studio album, Back Through Time, which peaked at number 42 on the German albums chart.
I'm looking forward to that new Gravedigger.
Yeah. Oh, God, I am too. June 3rd, 1997, Faith No More releases their 6th studio album, Album of the Year. Yngwie Malmsteen begs to differ. Moving ahead to the 4th, June 4th, 2007, Vision Divine releases their 4th studio album, The 25th Hour, and Camelot releases their 8th studio album, Ghost Opera. June 4th, 1991, Dangerous Toys released their 2nd studio album, Hellacious Acres. And June 4th, 2021, Flotsam and Jetsam releases their 14th studio album, Blood in the Water, which is a great album.
Yes, it is.
Moving ahead to June 5th, June 5th, 19...
You brought up that
Huh?
you brought up that Dangerous Toys,
Mhm.
Hellacious Acres. Also, if you've never heard that, go and listen to it just for the fact that they have a great cover of Bad Company. Is it Bad Company? Yeah, it feels like making love.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they got a cover of that on that album, which is really good.
Oh, okay. Nice. So moving ahead to the 5th, June 5th, 1984, TSA releases Heavy Metal World. June 5th, 2000, Death SS releases their 5th studio album, Panic. June 5th, 2007, Visions of Atlantis releases their 3rd studio album, Trinity. And Marilyn Manson releases his 6th studio album, Eat Me, Drink Me, which debuted at number 20 on the Billboard 200. June 5th, 2003, Epica releases their debut album, The Phantom Agony. June 5th, 2009, Yorn releases their 6th studio album, Spirit Black. That band loves June.
Yeah.
June 5th, 2012, The Agonist releases their 3rd studio album, Prisoners. That was Alyssa White's last album with the band before leaving for. Yeah, that was her last album with the Agonist before joining Arch Enemy. And LA Gun.
Then Vicky Sarkis came after that, right?
Yep, she did. And then LA Guns released their 10th studio album, Hollywood Forever. June 5th, 2015, House of Lords released their 10th studio album, Indestructible. And Trickster, there's a name from the past, releases their 4th studio album, Human Era.
Actually seen where they had a new single out like a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, what?
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I didn't know that band was even still around. But...
I know. And then June 5th, 1995, Danger releases their 3rd studio album, Dawn. There's another band from the past, Danger. Moving ahead to the 6th, June 6th, 1984, Blackout releases their debut album, Evil Game. June 6, 1990, Metallium releases their debut album, Behind the Power. June 6th of 2000, Venom releases their 10th studio album, Resurrection. June 6, 2008, Yorn releases their 5th studio album, Lonely Are the Brave.
We're going to get through all 20 of their albums.
Pretty much, yeah. June 6, 2005, Got Hard releases their 7th studio album, Lip Service, which peaked at number 1 on the Swiss charts. Good for them. Wow. And Avenged Sevenfold releases their 3rd studio album, City of Evil. And then 6/6/2006, Blue Tears releases their 4th studio album, The Innocent Ones. And June 6, 1995, Primus releases their 4th studio album, Tales from the Punch Bowl, which peaked at number 8 on the Billboard 200. I know, Les Claypool's a goofball.
Yeah.
June 7th, moving ahead, 2019, Firespawn releases Abominate, and The Rods release Brotherhood of Metal, rather. June 7th, 1994, Suicidal Tendencies released their 8th studio album, Suicidal for Life, and Pride and Glory releases their self-titled debut album. June 7th, 1991, Badlands released their 2nd studio album, Voodoo Highway. June 7th, 1990, Blue Tears released their self-titled debut album. Moving ahead to the 8th, June 8th, 1991, Nausea releases their debut album, Crime Against Humanity. June 8th, 1992, Flesh Crawl releases their debut album, Descend into the Absurd. And Seance releases their debut album, For Never Laid to Rest. June 8th, 1999, Def Leppard releases Euphoria, which peaked at number 11 on the Billboard 200. And Biohazard releases New World Disorder. June 8th, 2010, Whitechapel releases A New Era of Corruption. And June 8th, 2018, TNT releases their 13th studio album, XIII, which of course is the Roman numeral 13. Of course. Skipping the 9th, moving ahead to the 10th, June 10th, 2016, Rage releases their 22nd studio album, The Devil Strikes Again. And June 10th, 2014, Body Count releases their 5th studio album, Manslaughter. Moving ahead to today's date, June 11th, 2013, Power Trip releases Manifest Decimation. And, of course, Yorn releases their 8th studio album, Traveler. And last but not least, June 11th, 1991, Kingdom Come releases their 3rd studio album, Hands of Time. So those are the historical releases for May 28th through today's date of June 11th. And you basically got Yorn's entire discography.
Yeah, pretty much. Damn near it anyway. So.
Almost. I think there was like 6 of them on there. It was crazy.
Blow everything back up because it actually printed out like three sheets of paper before it ran out of ink. So
Okay.
so I actually have the end of the show I can read off. So
Oh, there you go.
Anyway, so I guess we're ready for our top 10 of the week.
Yep.
Which is friendship is what we decided to do our top 10 on this week. And I will tell you, my list is good and bad friendships.
Well, yeah, I mean, just because
they're not all good.
Yeah, just because we said friendship doesn't mean everybody gets along. Yeah. This is heavy metal after all. So.
And here's my 10 songs from Fear Factory.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit.
All with Burton C. Bell
and Dino Cazares.
Yeah, Dino Cazares. Yeah.
At each other's throats.
Just kidding. All right, so
only half kidding.
Yeah, right. Only half kidding. I got 10, and then I put two other ones.
Same
out there, so just in case. But I'm pretty sure we're going to have some. I didn't think we would get through. Like when I started going through this, I said, "Oh, I know we're going to have some crossovers." If we don't, I'm gonna be real surprised.
Me too, actually.
But my first one I had was Creator, Fallen Brother from the Gods of Violence in 2017,
nice.
Which that kind of goes along a lot of. If you haven't watched that video, it's pretty cool to see the people that are honored in that video. Because he doesn't go through just metal either. I mean, he had like David Bowie was on there. I mean, it has some other people on there, so it's pretty wild to see. Speaking of Creator, new album just came out too. So.
Yes, it did. Oh, yes, it did.
My second one I had was Skid Row 18 in Life from Skid Row 1989. That's definitely a friendship gone bad, but a
little bit.
Yeah. And then I took the next one I took was two friends that redid a song, Ozzy with Lemmy, and they did the Hellraiser from No More Tears 30th anniversary 2021.
Nice.
A lot of people didn't know that Lemmy actually wrote that song for Ozzy.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So for him to hear his vocals on it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I had I don't know if anybody knows much about this band. I don't know a whole lot, but I just remember a few songs from this band. But I took Revenge, Heavy Metal Friends.
That's son of a bitch.
Spitting Fire 2018.
Wow.
Let me guess, that's the one we crossed over after all that other shit.
I know, right?
Then I had Hammerfall Brotherhood from Hammer of the Dawn, of course, this year, 2022. Then I took Avenged Sevenfold, So Far Away from Nightmare 2010. And then I had Metallica, My Friend of Misery from Metallica 1991. And then I had Disturbed, Old Friend from The Lost Children 2011. And then I had Godsmack's Greed from Awake 2000. Then I took Killswitch Engage, The Signal Fire from Atonement 2019. The reason I did that is because, of course, you got Jesse and Howard, both vocalists from Killswitch Engage, which are still friends. So,
yeah,
that was pretty cool. Then the two extra ones I had was Pantera's Hollow from Vulgar Display of Power 92, and then Machine Head's Game Over from Bloodstone and Diamonds in 2014. So,
okay, like you say, we were going to have some crossovers. One of them doesn't surprise me. One of them I was really fucking surprised because it was actually a new song to me when I was doing some research for this. And then there's one song that I had that I'm really surprised that you didn't. So anyway, So anyway, here's
that's the surprises of doing these things.
But that's what's cool about doing them too.
It is, yeah. Like this is like one of the segments we don't really collaborate on.
Nope, we do
So
not.
we don't know until the show what we each other actually picked. So
That's right. We come up with the theme and then we just leave it at that. So here's my top 10 plus two. Leading off with Demons Are a Girl's Best Friend from Power Wolf, The Sacrament of Sin in 2018. That's the one I was like, he's going to have that one. Uh, but it's such a good song. Then I had My Friend of Misery by Metallica from the Black Album, 1991. Then I had Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills by Pantera off of Far Beyond Driven from 1994.
almost did that one too. So.
Yeah. Then I had Friend by Cold Chamber off of Dark Days from 2002. Then I pulled this one out of the archives, and you're going to be surprised by this one, but you'll be like, "Oh my god, I forgot all about this song." You ready for this one? You're Invited, but Your Friend Can't Come by Vince Neil off the Encino Man soundtrack from 1992.
I actually thought about doing that one because
Oh, did you?
I watched Encino Man Thursday night. So
Oh no, shit.
yeah, so I was like, oh, I should put that on the list. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually went back. I actually went back and watched the video for that.
Yeah.
And Pauly Shore's in it, so it's kind of
Right.
funny. But it was a heavier song than I remembered.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not bad.
That Vince Neil Exposed album was actually, I don't know, I kind of like it better than a lot of the Crew albums, honestly. But
So and then let's see what I had. Then I had Letter to a Friend by Gotthard off of Domino Effect from 2007. It's more of a ballad, but I listened to it and I like the message, so I mean, it a good power ballad is still a good power ballad.
right.
So, and then I had No Friend of Mine by Metal Church off of Hanging in the Balance from 1993.
I was trying to find a version of that I could only find a live version for some reason. I don't know what was up with that, but.
And then I had then this is kind of one that I was surprised that I liked as much as I did. I had True Friends by Bring Me the Horizon off of That's the Spirit from 2015. And then
that album was actually like that album after that was actually the decline of Bring Me the Horizon in my opinion, because that album was actually pretty solid, and then after that they kind of lost me. But
yeah, and then this was then like when you said it, I was amazed because, like I say, I had never heard of this band until this, but I also had Heavy Metal Friends by Revenge off of Spitting Fire in 2017. So I was like, it's a damn good song. I was like, how have I never heard of this band before? So like when you said that, I was like, son of a bitch. And then the last one I had was All My Friends Are Dead by Sebastian Bach off of Give 'Em Hell in 2014. And then my two honorable mentions, I also went with Hollow by Pantera off of Vulgar Display of Power. And then the other one I had was Christmas Truce by Sabaton from the War to End All Wars that came out earlier this year. It was about the ceasefire during Christmas and during World War I. So yeah. So I was not surprised we had overlaps. I'm surprised by
which ones were
exactly. Yeah. But so we'll go ahead and get that playlist collaborated and compiled. We'll get it posted, and so far we've gone 0 for 2 as far as getting anybody else to add songs to the playlist over at the Facebook group. I kind of think what hurts is that the link is only good for 24 hours. Yeah. So, and I don't want to repost it every day. So, right. I do keep the link up and live for 24 hours, but so far no one's taken the bait. So, but that's okay. That's all right.
All right. I guess we will switch over into our album reviews of this week.
Yes.
So my album that I took this week was from a band called Terravolt, Waking Up. Terravolt is from South Orange County, California. It was a vision of drummer and percussionist Yo-Yo Bianchi, who relocated from Santiago, Chile, in the early 2000s.
Nice.
Bianchi later recruited the face-melting talents of fellow Chilean guitarist Benjamin Lechuga, distinctive vocal frontman and Los Angeles native Chaz Terra, and wife, sultry singer songwriter from New York Heather McAndress. So they got a husband and wife team there. So
Nice. Nice.
this is the band's debut album, which was, I was like, wow, okay. It's 11 songs, 45 minutes, 50 seconds, so it's about an average listen. Um, so I will say this: if you can imagine Miles Kennedy and Christina Scabbia doing vocals together on an album, this would be pretty damn close to that.
Okay.
So it's very very interesting. The I tell you the drumming actually stood out more for me, and I'm not, me, I'm more of a bass guy, so for the drums to
Mm-hmm.
stand out was kind of amazing. It was like wow. Every song I heard was like wow, check out these drums are good. So it's kind of interesting for that to stick out to me, not being a drumming person. It's not usually the first thing that I hear from songs. So I think even one of the songs had some congos in it, which was kind of
No shit.
yeah. So it's kind of
That's
kind of
cool.
crazy there too. And then there was like a song I couldn't like place whether they were making the sounds with maybe a guitar, but it almost sounded like a fiddle, which was kind of
Oh, could
wild
have been.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean I don't know. Maybe we can talk to those guys into coming on the show. We'll ask them, but
Yeah.
the there was so there was a 4 minute 31-second instrumental track on there, which was I thought was interesting because you usually don't see that, especially if it's a debut album. That's was pretty wild. But
Hmm.
and then I got let's see the real confusing thing for me was the next to last song was like a minute and 52 seconds of just some audio and just some more instrumental stuff, which was kind of I'm like wow, why would you put that toward the end? That was kind of weird, uh, but I would have liked it a lot better, probably if not for that part of it. Uh, I do rate this more of a hard rock album more than a metal album, though. So
Hmm.
I'd probably still give it like 3.5 horns, though. It wasn't bad. I could listen to it again. So, and then I also checked out this EP, which kind of hoping that I get more from these guys, but it was the story's kind of interesting too. The band was Pre-Human Vaults. The EP was Allegiance Divine. So Pre-Human Vaults is a melodic death metal supergroup of sorts, featuring Christian Alvestam from Solution 45, Miseration, Scar Symmetry. He's played in a pretty good variety of bands there. And then we had Ronnie Bjornstrom. He was also from Solution 45, and then he was from Eon. He was in that band for a while. And then we have Patrick Gardberg, also ex Solution 45. So I guess all these guys kind of met there. But uh, then he was in Torchbearer and a few against Many. And then Peter Norden, which was with Meshuggah and Calapash. And then we have Michael Gomez, who was with Black Plague. So yeah, so it's kind of a super group of sorts, I guess. But which that's quite a pedigree if you look at all those bands. But
Right.
and this is the band's debut EP too, which was weird because they've been it's been 7 years in the making, and it just
Wow.
and it's just as pertinent today, as ever. I guess with the message on there, but it's actually the band's first release of any kind. 4 songs, 17 minutes, 28 seconds, so it's a pretty quick listen because it's only 4 songs. So I thought the gutturals in this was, being a melodic death metal was very nicely done. Um, I didn't have any problems understanding anything. It was very well done. I thought so.
So clean gutturals.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't really clean, but I mean, it was still understandable. It was you could still
Co-
make out
co-
make out.
coherent gutturals.
Yeah, coherent. Go there. You go. And the music instrumentally, of course, was all badass on all accounts. But I could probably just listen to the instruments on this thing and not even do vocals. That's how good it was. I would not complain about that being an instrumental album. I tell you that. Yeah.
Nice.
You really can't wait to hear something maybe full length from these guys in the future. Hopefully, but I'm gonna give this four horns. Just
Nice.
you know, that's kind of a big thing for me to give a melodic death album, death metal album, four horns,
Yeah.
but definitely good stuff.
All right. Who did you say that was again?
Pre-human vaults.
Okay. All right. Because I'm gonna check that one out too. Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out. What else did you say you had gotten through?
Was the first one?
No.
It
You
was,
said like last night we were talking, and you
oh
said you
yeah,
had gotten through
I
a
got
couple
through
others.
I got through another one, but I'm gonna go back and listen to it because I don't know. I think there's like some stuff. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything on it because it's kind of like a eh, I don't know. There's just still some confusing stuff in there. I'm gonna try to work out, but
Oh, okay.
I'll put the review. I may put the review up on Metalheads Unite. So
Okay. All right.
it was
Like
yeah,
Terror Volt or something like that.
well that's the one I did. That's the actual the one I did. It was terrible.
Oh, or what was the man? What the hell was the other one you told
The
me?
other one was Torchlight Parade. So,
Torch. That's it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Sorry.
yeah. I did.
Torchlight Parade. Okay. Never laugh when a hearse rolls by.
Yeah. uh, I
I have to,
also
I'm, shit, I'm gonna have
thought
to look up. I'm gonna have to look up just the album art for that.
I thought Four Barrel Funeral may have gotten big or something.
Oh no, they do one about a car.
Yeah. I don't know. It probably is one about a car.
It probably is. That's a that's literally a local joke. You guys wouldn't
Yeah.
get that one, but unless anybody on here lives in Colombia that we didn't know about. But I mean, but yeah, okay. Let's see. My formal review, my write up that I did was the new album, The Testament by Seventh Wonder, and the only reason why I did this one is because of the album title. I don't know. I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't Testament, of course, but they are a progressive metal band formed in Stockholm, Sweden, in 2000. I don't know how I end up picking the bands from Sweden. It seems like every time I pick one, they're from well, if not Sweden, they're from Scandinavia somewhere, which is weird. I don't do this shit on purpose, I promise. Their lyrical themes include philosophy, relationships, and fantasy. Their lineup consists of Andreas Blomqvist on bass, Johan Liefendahl on guitars, Andreas Soderin on keyboards, Tommy Karavik on vocals. If that name sounds familiar to any of you, that's because Tommy Karavik is also in Camelot, and then Stefan Norgren on drums. This is the group's sixth full-length album. Their debut album, Become, came out in 2005, Waiting in the Wings in 2006, Mercy Falls in 2008, The Great Escape in 2010, Tiara in 2018, and The Testament yesterday. This album is 9 tracks long, 53 minutes and 7 seconds. So, not too long, not too short. Track number 1, Warriors, clocks in at 4:42. Track 2, The Light, at 6:19. Track 3, I Carry the Blame, at 6:06. Track 4, Reflections, at 5:35. Track 5, The Red River, at 6:12. Track 6, Invincible, at 3:39. Track 7, Mind Killer, at 5:58. Track 8, Under a Clear Blue Sky, at 8:45. And track 9, Elegy, at 5:51. I've always had a hard time listening to progressive metal bands, not because they're hard to listen to, but for me, it's always progressive metal has always been kind of an odd subgenre for me because there's parts of it I like and parts of it I don't, and this album was kind of the same way. I don't know. There was kind of an edge to this album that was missing. I mean, there are heavy parts. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there are good guitar parts in there. Some of the drum lines are really good. I don't know. Some of it is too overdone with the keyboards, and that's always kind of been one of the things that with progressive metal that kind of turns me off when the electronic accompaniment gets a little bit too overbearing. Um, so that was kind of my main problem with this. There were some parts where there were keyboard solos and no guitar solos, and you know how
Oh
I
wow.
am. Yeah, and you know how I am about that. So that's kind of a little bit of a bummer. Track number 5, the Red River, was an instrumental, which isn't necessarily a deal breaker, but a 6-minute long instrumental, it, kind of gets a little long and drawn out. Um, so
Wow,
overall,
2 albums with instrumentals today. That's
yeah.
pretty
So
wild.
overall, I'm going to give this one 2.5 out of 5. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Um, I guess maybe once I found out that Tommy Karavik was the singer, I kind of had a little bit more high hopes for it because I have heard Camelot stuff before, and I do like a lot more of their stuff. But at the same time, I guess you don't want two bands that sound exactly alike. But so I guess that's kind of my fault letting that preconceived notion get into my head, which is why we kind of do this, which is why we try to do this going in blind. So you don't kind of, if you've got a vocalist from another band, you kind of don't, you try not to bring that other band into it. So I guess I'm kind of guilty of that to a point, but at the same time, Camelot also doesn't rely as heavily on keyboards. So I kind of already knew that going in, but yeah, if they could have I would have enjoyed it more than I did if they would have toned that down a little bit. But if you're into that sound, the progressive metal, then this one would kind of probably be right up your alley. Because like I say, there were still some good guitar riffs, some good drum lines, and Tommy Karavik, as far as doing completely clean vocals, that guy's got a set of pipes on him, man. He really does. So, like I say, there was stuff I liked, some stuff I didn't. So I'm just gonna rate it right down the middle on this one. So that was my my formal write up. The other album I got through, like I was telling you about yesterday, I got through Hate Uber Alice, the new album by Creator, and for fuck's sake, this one was classic Creator in all of the best description. Definitely going to give it 4 horns out of 5. Easily on first listen. I could probably, if I listen to it all the way through again, I could possibly bump it up even another half a horn. But yeah, on first listen, it's definitely gonna get a 4 out of 5 without question.
Except for that little short intro in the beginning. So.
That and the funny thing is that short intro, it had nothing to do with the song that came after it. So I was like, well, that was a minute wasted. So,
yep.
But again, we've said before, that's a pet peeve of ours.
Yeah.
There have been intros that tie in, and we can kind of at least justify it. This one, as far as I was concerned, had nothing to do with the track that followed it. So I was like, well, that was dumb. So, but the other 10 tracks right there.
Or you get that. Well, I can't remember the album. I think it was the Vicious album that Hailstorm had. That it just kind of like it went like out of one track into another. It's like you just kept doing that. And I'm just like, wow, am I listening? It's like it's almost you listen to one whole song almost. It was crazy.
Yeah,
but it was cool because I've never heard that before. Like where they just kind of it usually fades in, fades out, and it just kind of just rolled. It just kind of flowed all the way through. Just like wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of annoying. But like I say, the rest of the album, yeah.
I'm only on. I think I'm only on like the 4th track, so
yeah,
haven't gotten all the way through that one yet. So
oh yeah,
there are some. There's a lot of. So if you guys haven't, you can look up the Metalheads Unite on Spotify as well, and the playlists that are on there. I have started to put a lot of the newer bands on those playlists, just to give everybody a kind of a feel for some of the bands that we talk about on here a lot. As far as we know the Creators and the Slipknots and the those kind of bands, but I'm trying to like push some other stuff out there. So and even if I'm not, even if I'm like listening to it, I'm like that's not my stuff, but maybe somebody out there like I'll still add it because I mean, as like I said, we all have different tastes in metal. So
and we are here for everyone's taste in metal, absolutely everyone's.
And I'm gonna go on record like right now. I don't know if have you heard the new Lamb of God yet?
That the new single? Yeah, you posted the video, remember?
Yeah. So in the trailer,
in the trailer.
So I'm already like pissed off just from the first day of that shit being out. Oh, it's not heavy enough. Man, shut the fuck up, man. Like,
How much heavier do you want it?
enjoy the music, man. Just like, why has everything got to be so fucking nitpicky, man? I don't get it. It's like we're
I mean,
the bad thing is these people that are bitching about it are still buying tickets to go to see the fucking shows. So what good is it bitching? You're still gonna go. Why bitch
I
about
tell
it?
I tell you what I liked about it. I liked that he sprinkled in some clean stuff.
Yeah.
That's diversity.
Hmm.
That's tweaking your sound a little bit. That little teeny tiny little, and it probably won't be like that all the way through
Hmm.
the album, which is fine, which
Right.
is cool because everyone knows. I mean, everyone should by now know what Lamb of God's sound is.
Mm.
So it's like when Devil Driver came out with Wishing on Dealing
God, it
with
was so
Demons.
great though, man. It was
Oh
so
my
good.
God, dude. So you throw little curveballs in there like that, and that is what keeps people interested because it keeps your sound fresh and people don't know what to expect next.
Right.
So, but not heavy enough. How fucking much heavier do you want that song? That song was badass.
Oh man, like I said, you're gonna have people just
Well,
bitch.
of course, you're never gonna. I know you're never gonna please everybody, but that right there, song wasn't heavy enough. You sir are wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it, man. It's like, well, I mean, we've talked about this too. These vocalists can't do that type of vocals forever.
Right.
I mean, you've already seen Ginger, Tatiana's kind of
Mm-hmm.
come out and started doing a little more. Even Alyssa White did a lot more cleans on this
Mm-hmm.
this new album coming out, from what I've heard so far.
Yep.
So, I mean, they just can't do that on day, year in and year out for 30, 40 fucking years because
Mm-hmm.
it'll just blow their vocals out. I mean, look at just go back and look at some of the stuff Matt Hiffy's talked about. M Shadows. All those people I talked about before. David Draymond's even said, that's why he had to kick back a little bit. You
Yep.
know, you
Well,
can't.
yeah,
You
but
gotta, you don't, you can't do those things forever. I mean, you're gonna have to
mhm.
change it up at some point, and you might as well start on it now, and kind of wean into it a little bit, so it's not just a all at once thing, and then you
Mhm.
you know, lose all your fucking fans because then you really are gonna have a lot of people bitching
Yeah,
because you're doing it all at once.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't have no problem with that kind of thing as long as it's done. It's gotta be. Most bands know how to do it. And they do it right. So
Mhm.
you
Yeah. I mean, Alyssa White when she was in the Agonist, they were half and half. They would
know,
they would do guttural verses and clean choruses or vice versa. So I mean, Alyssa White was doing that in the Agonist anyway. She
right.
was actually the first singer to bring any clean vocalist to Arch Enemy like at all. So when Johann Leave was, Johann Leave and Angela Gassau, they were the first two singers. They did nothing but gutturals the entire time. So Alyssa White was the first singer to even bring clean vocals to Arch Enemy. M Shadows, on the first two albums, Waking the Fallen and Sounding the Seventh Trumpet was first, and Waking the Fallen, he did a little bit more, of a growling style. It wasn't even really a true guttural vocal style, but
Right.
he did more of a kind of
Raspy
a
type.
kind of a raspy kind of screaming, style, bordering on growling, but it wasn't a full guttural. But then when City of Evil came out is when he started doing the clean vocals. Of course, that's when they make it. That's when they made it, and that's when everybody fucking accused him of selling out. But those people can fuck off. But at some point, M Shadows, he had problems with his throat and had to recover from that. David Draymond had to have polyps removed from his vocal cords and has gone on record as saying that's why he stopped making all those goofy animal noises that
Yeah.
people used to make fun of him for, because that's extra strain that he doesn't need.
Hmm.
So people have to make adjustments, like you said. They can't do the same shit forever. Um, you know,
I think like the parody for Disturbed was hilarious.
oh
That
the oh
parody.
the oh yeah, the greatest hit of Disturbed.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Uh,
David Draymond thought that was fucking
yeah, he
hilarious.
did.
He
He
thought
was
it was
just he
hilarious.
said his favorite part of it was when the guy said, "I've never known a band with so much do so little."
Yeah, yeah, he loved it. He thought it
Oh,
was hilarious. So that's definitely a guy that doesn't take himself too seriously, which is good.
right.
But when you have bands that have made a career more or less. Of course, the funny thing is, I was just about to bring up Des Fafara. Devil Driver did nothing but gutturals up until he came out with Wishing on Dealing with Demons. Funny thing is, you go back to Cold Chamber, he did clean vocals in Cold Chamber.
Hmm.
Not all the time, but they were there. And then, Lamb of God, Randy Blythe has sang the entire way, practically the entire time. Every once in a great while, he would throw a clean lyric in there. Of
Hmm.
course, if you want to count the very, very beginning to Laid to Rest as a clean vocal, you can, but that was more of a spoken word at the very, very beginning.
Yeah, and
That
he
that
kind
that
of did
really
that.
doesn't count. But that song that you released, that was a true clean vocal
Hmm.
in
Yeah,
that song.
he kind of did some stuff in what Memento Mori too, where he
Yeah.
kind of did some speaking,
Yeah.
not really singing, but kind of speaking stuff up to that point.
Right. But it's still, like I say, it's still a nice little twist.
Which was my alarm for a long time. Wake
Well,
up!
that's a good one.
That was my third one. So if I went through the first two, I know it was like, oh, I hear Randy. I'm definitely going to miss the bus if I don't.
Well, and another good example is fucking Maria Brink. You remember
Right?
that
Yeah.
in this moment earlier, a lot of their earlier albums, she was doing a lot of screaming. Now she really doesn't do a whole lot of screaming anymore. If she does any screaming, it's just for emphasis on a lyric, or sometimes in a chorus she'll do it. But by and large, she's basically switched over to clean vocals.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't get it. Like you're gonna lose and gain fans along the way. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
if you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, just if
Yeah.
it's not heavy enough for you, then tough shit. It's like
Yeah.
they're. I mean, Lamb of God, I think is at a point to where they can make whatever music they want and don't give a shit what you think.
Agreed. I'm still gonna go see him. That's for damn sure.
So I mean, if you spend all your time looking at comments on, I've heard that 100 times. If you spend more your life worried about what people are going to comment on your post on YouTube, then you got a lot of issues to work out in this
Hmm.
in the business because you can't you can't go in and we've talked about it. We've had people talk shit about us on YouTube, so
Hmm.
it's nothing. It's nothing. I laugh at it. I'm just like, well, whatever, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't know. First off, you don't know shit, and you know, you don't know shit about us for one. It's like, second of all, you know, you're some troll from beyond the outer space regions from
Yeah.
some of the shit that they were posting at one point.
Yeah.
But
And the funny thing is, we never even claim to be experts at this anyway.
well, no, I mean, it was
Yeah,
like,
we don't, we're not in some studio. We're each in a room of our house, and we don't have professional equipment. We don't know everything about every band. We haven't heard every song. So I mean, you know, we've said, I don't know how many times we've
I
said
mean,
this,
I
but
think if
we
you
we
have,
learn.
if you have, then what do you where do you work? I mean, that's what I want to
Right.
know.
Yes. I mean,
'Cause,
yeah.
I want
You
that
know,
kind of
so,
time to listen to everything.
right. So like we've said before, we learn new shit every week.
Yeah, I mean, just
We,
like
we
last
do. We
week,
learn new shit every week.
if you go back and watch last week's show, there's a part in there where Rick was writing down stuff as we were talking about some of these bands
Hmm.
because he had never heard of them.
Right.
So, and then he gave me some bands that I had never heard of. So we were
Same.
giving, yeah. So I think that's what's cool about doing this is we are learning about new bands from each other. And
Hmm.
and that's the cool thing. Just like William from Sepsis gave us a fucking 14-page list of bands that
Yeah, he did.
and I guarantee you most of those, and I went through the list and I said, well, most of those I've never heard of. So,
Hmm.
you know, and yes, we are going through those lists. We just
Yes. Yes, we are. We are going through them.
yeah. So
We gave you
as much
we
as
we
I can
gave you
find
our
anyway.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
gave you our word. So
but anyway, I mean that's the cool thing is like we're trying to be that platform to push the smaller bands into something bigger because we think they deserve to be there.
right.
It's not that even just like I said, I may not even like certain parts of what some of the bands I've listened to do, but I think that they still should be heard because of maybe there's something unique about it or they incorporated some instrument that I've never heard in metal or
Hmm.
you know there's something there that makes me think these guys have done something I've never heard and I think people need to hear this. and that's the thing is like we're not going to agree on everything. Like you know, you like some bands better than I do, even though we do
Hmm.
like a lot of the same bands. But it's
Yeah.
still kind of like like you said, you talk about Camelot. I mean, I like some Camelot, but I'm to go out and just like, oh, I'm gonna go listen to Camelot. I don't ever do
Right.
that. I don't ever do that because
Right.
not that's not my forte in metal. But
Right. But at the
I
same
don't
time,
knock it because it's still good. I'm not saying it's not good.
yeah.
It's just I don't like flow to that side. You know.
Yeah. But at the same time, we also don't sit here calling each other idiots. It's like, how the hell do you not like
Right?
that?
Yeah, yeah. It's
You
like,
fucking stupid.
oh my god.
Yeah, no, we don't do that shit.
Well, no,
You know?
because it's not. It's not. I mean, like I said, like everybody has uh, um, their own genre that they lean more to. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's and you're not going to see a lot of death metal fans at a fucking Shinedown show. I mean, that's just not gonna. I mean, you might, but it's probably
No.
going to be very, very few. It's just like I'm saying. It's like you're not going to see, you know, people that go to, you know,
Well, well, what
local
was
shows. Huh?
that? Because you remember that guy that your wife was talking about at the Testament show. She was freaking out about his vest. Do you remember what to?
Yeah, it was. He had a Whitechapel patch and a Tool patch,
Yeah, she
and
was
I think,
freaking out
man,
about his vest.
that I said that's just like totally like two parallel. But like Tool was like out of place on it. I think is what she was trying to say. Like
Yeah,
they, nothing against Tool. Like they were just out of place in the
yeah,
other bands that he had on his vest. It was kind of
right.
just weird, I guess. But
Yeah, but
that'd
see,
be like
that's
me. That'd be like me with a big Kill Switch patch, and I got a Bon Jovi patch on my fucking vest. It's like,
well. I
like,
mean, you talking about Killswitch Engage now, and then as far as Bon Jovi goes, their first three albums were great.
mm-hmm.
But
But I'm saying they would be out of place if
sure,
if you had like Kill Switch and like say Kill Switch and Sepultura and Megadeth and
yeah, and then and then
Creator and
and then and then
then all of a sudden Bon Jovi's there. What the fuck
right,
is
yeah.
that?
But
But
at the same time, like we've said before, that's kind of what makes heavy metal as a whole so great. Because I mean,
it does.
you got the sub genres that come together to make up, the you know call it the mothership of heavy metal, call it whatever you want, but heavy metal, when you take it and break it down, that's what makes it so great.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So what do we got to look forward next week to next week? Like
Okay, let me do
40,
my
50 or
yeah, let me do my Jim Carrey Ace Ventura inhale here.
yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to do it that fast, of course, but so yeah,
Thanks to Heavy Music HQ
yes,
for
man, Heavy
giving
Music
us
HQ.
way more options.
Yes,
So
man, I'm so glad you found this website. And who knows, they probably don't have everything either, but at the same time, they have a
they got
hell of a
way
lot
they
more
got way
than we're
more than
used
we
to.
were listening to. So.
Yeah, they got a hell of a lot more than we're used to. So the upcoming releases for this coming Friday, June 17th. Leading off, we have After Evolution with War of the Worlds. We have Apocalyptic Leaders with Destructive Rage of the Enemies. We have Aptera with You Can't Bury What Still Burns. I kind of like the sound of that album. We have Ataraxy with The Last Mirror.
Only when you pee.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Then we have Atramentum with Through Fire Everything is Renewed. Barbarian Swords with Crusaders of the Apocalypse, The Return. We have Basalt Shrine with From Fiery Tongues. Battlegrave with Cavernous Depths. Bakor Keelish with Throes of Death from the Dreamed Nihilism. I'm sorry, not damned. Throes of Death from the Dreamed Nihilism. There we go. Then we have Blasphemous Creation with Beyond the Grave. That is an EP. We have Bruta with a self-titled album. We have Caravellis with Intermundos. Chaos Magic with Emerge. Charlie Griffiths, sorry, with Tiktalika. We have Civil War with Invaders.
That's
Combinator, huh?
that's just impressive in itself to find more than one person named Charlie Griffith to go in the band.
Yeah, I know. We have Combinator with Recombinator. That is an EP. We have Consecration with Sinus. Daniel Bone with Divinity, Demouncement Pyre with Forever Burning. We have Deraps with a self-titled album, Deus Omega with Among the Dreaming Dead. We have Din Beaths or Din Beathus with Balance, Drive at Night with Echoes of an Era,
Like I said,
Duck.
diabetes.
Yeah, that's actually I thought that's what it said for a second there.
uh,
Then we have Doc Walk Chuck with Fired Up, Electric Mistress with Chapter 99, that is an EP, Emerald Dream with Cosmogonia, that is an EP. Okay, it was okay. SO S okay, hang on a second. This one's a hard one. Um I'm trying to SO Esocratilum, I think, with Consecration of the Spiritus. Man, ex exanimantum, exa exam. I feel kind of silly trying to do this live. Uh, exanimatum, I think. Solemn ipsa more. We have executioner's mask with Winterlong, Exocrine with the hybrid suns, Extinguish the Sun with transformations, Gozer with an endless static, Gray Days with the Phoenix, Hans Uli with Walking in Circles, High Castle Tello, High Castle Tell Orchestra with the Egg That Never Opened, Hilning with Ratigen. I don't know. Hit the Ground Running with Lost in Translation, Horns and Hooves with I Am the Skell Messiah, Horror Within with Awaiting Extinction, 100-Year-Old Man with Sleep in Light, Iconic with Second Skin, Inexorable with Imperious, Inexorum with Equinox Vigil, Infanterio with Patriarch. Oh God, Yorn has another album coming out with Over the Horizon
in June, really?
in June. Yeah, La Sombra del Tejo with Unto de Muerto. That's an EP. Lazarus Dream with Lifeline. Marahem with Incendiary Darkness. Oni with Loath Lighting. Orion with Equations for the Useless. Ornamental Shrine with Dema Panicon. Quiet Riot with Alive and Well. That's a re-release. Encore with Bury the World. Rat King with Nervous Nature. That's an EP. Reaction with To Expect Nothing. Red Sun Atacama with Darwin. Secret Rule with The Resilient. Serpent Ascending with Hyperborean Folklore. Seven Kingdoms with Zenith. Sinners with Detrahamus. Soul Syndicate with Into the Flames. Soulfly with The Soul Remains Insane. The studio albums 1998 to 2004. Sorcery with Stunt Rock Soundtrack. That's a re-release. Swamp Born with Beyond Ratio. Teratoma with Purulent Manifestations. Thromdar with Midwinter Frost complete demo tapes 1990 to 1997. Tim Bonus with Butterfly Mind. Tombs with Ex Oblivion. That's an EP. Toxic with World Circus slash World Circus slash Think This. That's a re-release. We have Truant with Through the Veil of Earthly Torment. Tungsten with Bliss. Vegas Incision with Sulfurous. That's an EP. Valley of the Sun with The Chariot. Vontae with a self-titled album. Various artists, Ziggy Stardust 50 years later. I don't know if that's a cover album or a tribute album. I'm not sure. We have Vatican with Ultra. Vexes with Imagine What We Could Destroy If Only Given Time. Vipera with Eat Your Heart. Wayward Sons with Score Settled. That's an EP. White Snake with The Greatest Hits. White Ward with False Light. Wicked Envy with What the Hell Am I Doing? That's an EP. I kind of feel like that right now. What the hell am I doing? Wicked Stone with Synergy. Winds of Tragedy with As Life Drifts Away. WTZ with Terzi Siostry, I guess. And then last but not least, we have Zombie with Zombie and Friends Volume 1. So,
And good thing is there's not a lot of big name bands in,
right.
this either. So
Yeah,
definitely have some new blood to talk about. So,
absolutely. Which
which
is
is
great.
yeah, yeah. I actually found I don't know. I checked a bunch of stuff off. I think I found about 8 new bands to listen to last week. So,
Right.
so it's uh it's pretty cool. I haven't looked. I haven't listened to their extended live, extended catalog, but
Right.
I'll
It
probably get
is
around
good
to
to
it.
have those new options though.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess with that we can call this one a done deal.
Yeah. About an hour shorter than last time. But hey, I'm not complaining, man. We talked to Rick Jimenez for two and a
Yeah.
half hours. That was a blast.
Yeah, it was. He was so funny. He come on. He was just like, before we get started, guys, I just want to let you know. Before we went live, he's like, I want to let you know, I get long winded. That's like, this is all for you to do your thing, man. So
Hmm.
long winded all you want. So, and it was actually works out really really well. So
Yeah, it did. It
so
did. It was a great interview too.
yeah, we appreciated him for taking his time
Hmm.
out to talk with us last week.
Hmm.
And we got some announcements. We'll try to leak all that next week on here. So
Yeah.
definitely come back for the announcements if nothing else.
Trying to yeah, we're gonna try to make sure we have everything, written
Yeah.
in stone as far as we can before we let you guys know all the details. So
And we're gonna put it in the middle of the show, so you have to listen to an hour and a half before or an hour and a half after.
that's right. It's gonna be
So,
right in the middle, all of a sudden be like, hey, guess who's coming? And then keep on going.
yeah. No, we'll pick our moment, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I appreciate you all for stopping in today.
Yeah.
Back
Thank
to
you
back,
to thank
back
you
to
to
our regularly scheduled program, I guess.
yeah. Thanks to everybody who checked out the show live today. Thanks to Mr. Goodbars from
Yeah,
Sepsis from coming in and saying hi. And thank you to Myrna for wishing us good morning. Thank you to everybody who catches us live. Thank you to everybody who catches us, during one of the rebroadcasts. We appreciate everybody who watches however they decide to watch.
on whichever platform they decide to watch.
Exactly. On any platform, any of them, any of the multitude of platforms they can find us. And we're 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 still working on one, we promise. So
Yeah,
but before we go, just want to remind everybody that you can find us on VOPUSARadio.com. You can find us on the VOPUSA Radio mobile app. We have Metalheads Unite USA at gmail.com. You can still reach us there. You can find us on the Metalheads Unite YouTube channel. We are there also. So you can pretty much find us anywhere. And with the Facebook, the Metalhead Unite Facebook group, you guys can come request a membership over there. We'll get you guys hooked up. We do try to have special content for the group members over there. So that's always fun.
and
Yeah.
and also we don't bring this up enough, but if you're just in the car and want to listen to the radio version, there's radio.co, which is the one that we use the most
Mm-hmm.
as far as the radio side of things. So you can always catch it there as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't talk about that one enough. I don't think because a lot of people don't. If they're out and about, they're not going to watch. So
That's true.
and I know leaving YouTube open for a long period of time can heat your phone up. So
Yeah, that's
yes.
also true.
So, anyway, appreciate everyone coming by. Hopefully, be back next week for the big announcements and maybe more than two. Which I will
Maybe.
talk to you about
Maybe.
after the show actually. So
Cool.
so but anyway, I said thank you guys. Hope to see you back here next week. Until then, keep those devil horns held high and jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a good week, everybody. Thank you.